Man, stop it. Man.
I don't think.
I got things.
First off, was good chat. Was good chat. We started on time. Look, I guarantee you there's probably people not in this chat right now because they wasn't expecting us to start on time. So
Feels
what's
good to
going
be
on, No
back.
Oh
Name?
God.
As
Feels
you can
good to be
see,
back.
we got host G Baby today. Host G Baby, I'm gonna be handling everything today. Shout out Malik, shout out Nate, shout out Jade. They all couldn't be here unfortunately, but No Name crew, we always stay strong. Um, but what's going on, guys? How y'all feeling? First and foremost, on this wonderful Sunday.
Feels good to be back. I think I've been gone a couple
Doing
of
all right.
weeks.
All right, I think I was gone last week, and then I showed up late the week before. So yeah,
Feels fucking great.
Good to be here, man. Good to be here.
yeah.
As usual.
Somebody tell Mo to go to church. You would have never believed what he was saying in the chat earlier. Somebody
Yeah,
tell him to go
y'all
to church.
see Mo's in the classic background this time, man.
Yeah, he's not in
Yeah,
his
they're all
$1,000 studio.
at home this time, man.
Yo,
Oh, the
What's going on?
gang,
What's going
sorry
bro.
on?
I'm late. Sorry I'm late in the
Yo, you
building.
good.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, you early. You early for regular No Name.
For yeah, if it was another episode, you're early as hell.
Yeah, I was like,
Cam
yeah.
Cam also said he is on the way as well.
How y'all doing,
All right, cool.
fellas? We got
What's
Mo,
going on?
Louise, and G. Me and you, we haven't really met, but we ain't really chat. How you doing,
Right.
brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in my host role today, so I
Hell
don't know.
yeah!
I don't know if
So-
I'm gonna go over the top with the Devil's Advocate or if I want to dial it back. I don't know which one I
So
want to
Lynn,
do.
today,
What's
since
gonna
Nate
happen?
can't make
Go
it,
ahead.
it'll be strictly 2v2. So it'll
Okay.
be team rated M, and you'll be honorary no name with G. for
Got you.
today.
Hell yeah, G. We gonna hold it down, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And just for everybody watching, Mo will be coming on my podcast. We gonna be recording this week, and then Louise will be coming. We're gonna be doing some movie shit, talking about Final Destination soon. Louise, we'll schedule that this week. I hit you up.
For sure, for
Gee,
sure.
Well, tell everybody
G.
where they can go watch that, man.
Okay, hell yeah, I got you. But I'm saying, G, we gonna have to link up too and bring you on the wrestling pod, brother.
For sure.
Unless you like movies and TV and cartoons like me and Louise, but
I mean, I don't be diving into it as much as y'all do, but
Okay,
hell
yeah.
but I'm with it though. Though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm always down.
Yeah,
Well-
I'm ready for. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, follow Lynn, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Y'all can follow me on
Yes, sir.
Twitter at LynBWT. It's the name that's in the title card or whatever that you see on the screen. And then you can follow all my shows because we have a network. You can follow all my shows just by searching Bros Who Think Network. On YouTube, we have YouTube exclusive anime content where we review One Piece and we review other manga. But the audio stuff, just search Bros Who Think Network, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get it. In the wrestling show, for those who are interested on that network, is called The Work Shoot Show.
For sure. There's something I want to push as well. Your boy has done some consistent live streaming on his YouTube. Lewis Knows Tunes, if y'all see it right there. What I've been doing is I've been playing games from our childhood. I'm talking about
Hell yeah.
sitcoms, cartoons, movies. If they have a video game, I'm going to be playing it on my channel. Right now, yesterday I did a 3-hour stream playing through TMNT 2007. I already did The Incredibles and I already did Teen Titans. So if y'all want to go check that out
Fire!
on my page, Cam's Backstage. If y'all want to check that out on my page, come through. We go live every Saturday, Sunday, and more videos coming to my page as well. We really gonna get that going.
Hell yeah. Louise, can I
that.
give you a suggestion for games that you play that are movie related, bro?
Name it, brother. Name it.
Do you remember the hold on, let me Google it before I say the wrong thing because it was a Wolverine specific game.
Oh, X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Yes, bro. That one
Yeah.
was incredible, bro. When we used to get movies, movie video games, that was the era. So a lot of them were bad.
Dog, I'm
Some of them
telling,
were
bro.
so good.
Dog, I'm telling you, bro. I was literally saying it. I said, bro, I made a video about it on my TikTok too. I said, listen, I'm not saying today's current games are trash. I'm saying though, for you kids growing up, your variety is trash. If anything was remotely popular, I'm talking about just remote. If it was known, you was gonna get a game for it. Generator Rex got a game. Do y'all know it had a game? It's on the Wii. It's called Agents of Providence. It got a game. Teen Titans got 2 games on the Game Boy Advance, and it got PS2 and GameCube ports. Did y'all know that? Anything that was remotely popular had a game. Drake and Josh got a game. Did y'all know that?
I did not know that one.
Did y'all know that?
Oh yeah, they do.
You got me with that one.
I'm
And
trying to tell you, man.
shout out to Prince DJ in the comments. I appreciate you supporting me.
Hey,
brother.
because
Hell yeah.
back in the day, we was rolling around. You know, I guess I'm an unk now. Apparently, when you turn 25, you hit unk status.
No,
Back
bro,
in
we
the-
they got
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
we big
definitely
bros.
Unk. You
No,
definitely.
listen. They say unk is 36 through something, but we
not.
we on big bros.
Not these kids. They said
For
you
real?
25, you up now.
Oh
Yeah,
damn.
I've been called.
Hey,
Unk,
but
and I was
hey,
I
but
like,
saw somebody post a video on TikTok breaking down the age gaps. I was like, hell yeah, I'm big bro. But now that you're saying that, G, we unk.
these kids already said we unk. Hey, because look,
Yeah,
back in the day, we had the GameCube, we had the DS, we had the Game Boy
The
Advance,
PSP.
we had the PSP, we had the Wii, the PS2,
half y'all
the
don't know
OG
nothing about this right
Xbox,
there. Y'all don't know
the
about
OG
PSP.
Xbox,
Bro.
back with the black and white button that you never
Yes,
knew what it was
sir.
there for.
The
Oh my
PSP was
gosh.
so underrated, bro. The PSP to me was so beyond.
I love
like,
that game.
At
that
the
console,
time,
bro.
like the graphics and what you could do on a PSP was insane, bro. I wish they made
I gotta
a new
rebuy
one.
mine. I gotta
Yeah,
rebuy
see, I
mine,
need to
bro.
give me a. I gotta
Yeah,
give
I'm
me a
not
new
gonna lie.
That
The fact that
beautiful
they
gray
lost
haven't,
mine.
the fact that they haven't re-released one now in today's era is beyond me.
When
Like,
people would want it too,
here's the
people
thing,
would definitely
though.
want it.
COVID would have been the perfect time.
Oh my
COVID
gosh.
literally would have been the perfect time.
Here's the thing
Facts.
too.
Bro, G, I'd have killed that on
A
COVID,
big genre I personally was ranting about is the sports genre. Like I feel like today people are so focused on what they want 2K and Madden and all these other games like they want to be instead of accepting like games that are not like 2K or Madden, but like still have your say. Like
Right.
back then we had our not even street. We had backyard baseball. My boy Pablo, which I know about Pablo. Backyard football, backyard basketball. Like we had all that shit.
Shoot,
Bro, do y'all
hey,
remember NBA Ballers? It wasn't
Yes.
street, but it was 1-on-1 where you could get like
Hey,
chains.
Ballers is my
the
favorite street
the
game.
and
Me
one
too.
basketball
I'm with you.
game. You had the
And
and
one,
one
yes.
basketball game where you got to play
Escalade,
a hot
sauce,
sauce. Yo,
Bone Collector,
skip to my
Professor.
loot.
Bro.
Skip
Bro,
to my
Luis,
loot.
I agree with you. Ballers is my favorite one of those because it was crazy how you could 1-on-1, 2v2, and like Stephon Marbury on the cover.
1v1.
Crazy.
Bro.
Oh yeah, the 3. Yeah, you right.
Yeah, bro.
But I'll never forget NFL Street running off the wall to catch the pass. That was dirty.
That game breaker. Oh my
Yeah.
But that's like y'all not even talking about. I feel like the best game was FIFA Street. That's me. FIFA Street.
I never tapped
Bro,
into that. I
see,
never
I
tapped
came
into
on
that.
to
FIFA
that
Street
late.
is that shit, boy.
I came
was
onto
the
that
one.
late, but Mo, you gotta play that because that game is.
Hey,
I might
you
have
know,
to.
my
I still got my PS2. I
all-time
might have to.
all-time favorite OG game is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Fire.
On the Xbox,
Bro,
ooh,
fire.
that's OG.
I remember playing as like Mace Windu and Obi-Wan, and when they brought the new Battlefront back, I was like, "Where the fuck the Jedi's? Where the fuck all the fighters,
Yeah,
bro?"
the first one was trash. The
Yeah,
first
the
one they
first
brought back
Battlefront,
was
that's
trash.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
But,
exactly.
you know, that seems to be a trend because then they made Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I was like, okay, y'all.
Speaking of Star Wars games, y'all remember the old Knights of the Old Republic?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, bro.
Old Squadron, all that. Yeah, hell
See,
yeah.
I ain't play Squadron, but my homie did. I heard that.
Hold on. What you know about? Hold on. What you know about this? Hold on. I showed G this, but what you know about that, bro?
Ooh, classic. Honestly, before the new Star Wars one with Cal Kestis, Force Unleashed was the best Star Wars like story, one person playing like Arkham style. Force Unleashed was incredible, bro.
Yeah,
like,
but Cal Kestis like that too.
You know, Cal Kestis go hard. Let me ask y'all. This is a real question. How y'all do y'all lightsabers? Y'all dual wielding normal, or y'all doing the Darth Maul?
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm Darth Maul.
I'm Darth Maul.
Hey, y'all, my people. That just
I'm
solidified
excited
it
for that
for me.
series, by the way. I'm definitely
Darth
gonna
Maul
cover
in
it.
it.
Hey, do you see DJ? You gotta pull up. But G, you said something off air, and I had to stop.
So do we want to jump straight into that? Or
I think if we focus a lot, yeah, we can focus a little bit on it. Yeah, we can.
Okay, so I see y'all in the chat. Don't worry, we gonna talk about it. So R-Truth, it was broke. News broke a couple hours ago that R-Truth. At first, it was like he's not coming back. They're gonna let his contract expire. Then he posted a message saying he got released. So I'll ask y'all thoughts about it. I'll start off with you, Lewis, and then we'll kind of go around the room. But y'all thoughts on R-Truth? You know, I guess official out of his own mouth getting released. You know, I think a big shock to the world. If you look at the Twitter post, so many comments from active wrestlers, past wrestlers, so many people showing appreciation. I mean, at this point, who doesn't love R-Truth? If you have a genuine beef with Ron Killings, R-Truth, you know, like, it's probably you. right? So I do want to know your thoughts about that, man.
Lynn, go ahead and put your link in the chat so
Oh,
everybody can
got
follow
you.
you. They ask a few.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, G, the conversation we had, you kind of persuaded me a little bit. I'm like 50-50 on it because Truth is somebody that I thought would have been protected for like forever,
Right.
because he's been here through all the ups and downs and whatnot, and he's been great. But on the other hand, I use this example. I'm a UFC fan, bro. And the way how the UFC runs, they rarely, and I mean rarely, keep old people around unless you are making them super bank. If you look at the current UFC champions right now, the oldest champion in the UFC is John Jones. I believe he's like 36 or 37, which to WWE standards, that's you just hitting your prime. For UFC standards, that's just you leaving your prime. You about to leave your prime. So the way how TKO operates, I understand why they do it. I don't agree, especially since R-Truth just had a very good segment with Cena. He just had a funny ass match with Cena. His merch was just moving, and it seemed like they just put him in another serious storyline with Jimmy. So, I mean, I understand getting rid of the old to make way for the new, especially with the call-ups that are happening. I just feel like there was other people that weren't doing anything on the level R-Truth was doing that you could have put out before you put out R-Truth. That's just my opinion.
Before everybody goes on, apparently Carlito now in the same breath as R-Truth. Well, so according to a Twitter page called WrestleLoss, I'm gonna just read exactly what it says. Carlito will be leaving WWE. Similar to R-Truth, Carlito's current deal will not be renewed, and once it runs its course, he will be departing from the company via PW Insider. Now, so if it's similar to R-Truth, I guess because R-Truth said he got released. I guess he's just gonna let his deal expire. Like they're not gonna cut him early. They're just gonna be like, all right, let's say your deal ends July 4th. That's your last day in the company, right? Maybe R-Truth is kind of like, well, ain't no sense in me staying, right? Like, what's the point? But Carlito's kind of in that same breath. So I'll let y'all continue because now that's two people that say what you want. They've been on TV every week.
To me, I felt like these are guys that could have been used at the Performance Center. Like these are like I'm not even saying these are guys that, because NXT right now, in my opinion, a lot of people have character identity crisis. They don't know how to get over with their character. And R-Truth is literally one of the best character workers in the company. Say what you want, it's a goofy gimmick. My man was over for a decade because of him being funny and all that shit. Carlito, whether you might like his place in the Judgment Day or not, his one-liners were funny. They were getting clipped every fucking week up until the shit he said about EO, and EO didn't have a problem with it. Y'all did.
He was helping Raquel get over.
Bro, shit was funny. So these are people I felt like when it comes to the character aspect could have been used in the Performance Center, because a lot of people in NXT, they're not vibing with their character. They're not understanding their character. They're not believing in their character. And these are two guys that were over because of their characters. So that's how I feel.
Mo, you going next or you
Yeah, I mean, y'all kind of hit the nail on the head. I'm not upset that these guys have been released. I'm not upset in terms of like not seeing them on TV anymore, even though R-Truth he's always a gem when he's on TV, but it's like they could have been used in other positions, but these releases don't piss me off as much as like a Dakota Kai or something like that, where they had a lot more value to give. You know what I'm saying? With Carlito, for me, it was kind of just like, R-Truth. I get he was just doing the thing with John Cena. He's kind of a catalyst. Well, it seems like a catalyst to John Cena going back to being a babyface, but I'm not too mad at it. But it's a weird thing. It was a shock. I'll say that.
I need Carlito's agent. Whoever Carlito's agent is, I need him. This man is a finesse guy. This man barely wrestled on TV. Got paid to appear in backstage segments with Judgment Day. Got to kick it with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And was getting paid doing it. I need his agent. I need to know who his agent is. That is some marvel of finessing right there. You mean to tell me I get to be employed by the biggest wrestling company in the world? I don't even have to wrestle. I barely have to show up, and when I do wrestle, I'm getting squashed in a minute 30. I need his agent. And I get to hang.
Screen time is 3 minutes a week.
For me,
exactly. I get to hang with Rhea. Oh yeah, I need his agent. Carlito, tell me. I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
No, you
Carlito, Carlito, I need your agent. I need to know who your agent is, bro. If I get the same deal, I'll take it.
Hey, I feel
There you
you.
go.
But look, I got a question for y'all. We know that Triple H wanted R-Truth back. Is this a TKO situation where they're trying to save money and they're
Yes,
like, we
Yes.
need to get him away?
I want to speak on this
Because
personally.
I wanted
bro.
to bring that up because
I
I
wanna-
feel like people were blaming Triple H, and I don't know if this is his call, but I do feel that, like Luis said, R-Truth would have been not just perfect. He's what NXT needs, bro. NXT, they're like training them to be good wrestlers, but some of them don't know how to do their characters at all.
I
Like,
agree.
imagine R-Truth interacting with Chase U. Imagine Carlito interacting with Chase U. There, and that's just one group. I could name others in NXT that, I mean, Ashante the Adonis. There's other people that can interact with these people where I think it would be perfect. And you know, I just feel like, damn, R-Truth, a legend. I hope he goes to TNA instead of AEW. I would prefer him go to TNA because I feel like TNA could use him well. But you know,
Uh,
it's sad to see the legend
I
go.
want to.
So
I
I
want
want
to
to say
speak
this
on that. I
about
want to. I want to. Let me get my thoughts off on the street
yeah.
thing real quick, and then this AEW thing. First off, this is just me. I'm tired of whenever a talent gets released on WWE, the first thing is, oh, they're gonna go. The first thing is, oh, they should go to AEW. Like I'm tired of that personally. I'm tired. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that personally. I don't. I'm keeping the beam. There are like five people in WWE right now that if they got released, that if I'm Tony Khan, I would actually pick up the phone and call them. Outside of that, if you not know one of them names, you stay out my company. That's one. Two, R-Truth leaving is a shock. R-Truth leaving is a shock because I thought he was going to be there for life. But it won't shock me if he's back in WWE within a year under a Legends
Legends
deal,
deal,
and
yeah.
he's going to get the Hall of Fame induction. We all know he's going to get in the Hall of Fame induction. His rightfully deserved.
I saw
But
Malik say
R-Truth,
for next year. It should definitely be next year.
yeah,
First
but R,
balloting.
Oh yeah. I said
R
that shit. He need to be there next year. For me though, I have a problem with TKO. And what I'm about to say, G, I want you to clip this because I know the TikTok shit gonna be great, and I don't give a fuck. TKO, when it comes to the booking, clears Vince McMahon right now. Like nothing is bad than 2018 to 2022. SmackDown 2021 and 2022 is great. It's great. SmackDown. Raw was still atrociously ass. This shit was ass. But let me tell you, when it comes to the financial decisions of the company, Vince McMahon is better than TKO. Way better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being so serious. At least with Vince, this is what I really want to touch upon. I never thought I'd touch upon was the ticket prices. Vince
Facts.
knew what the main bread and butter was. He knew who the main money makers were when it came to the audience. It was us people working the 9 to 5s, taking our families out to these shows, and they were affordable. Do you know what's pissing me off about TKO right now and how they're changing it from with all these sponsorship deals and making the ring look like a fucking UFC octagon? Is they're trying to make it UFC-esque. You look at a UFC show, you'll have LeBron sitting in the middle. Next to him would be fucking Joe Biden, and then next to LeBron, on his other side would be fucking Nick Bosa or some
And the
shit.
real fans are in the
It's
nosebleeds.
literally celebrity-esque. If you look up
Mhm.
UFC ticket prices, actually go look at the ticket prices for Gaethje versus Poirier that's happening in New Orleans this summer. Them shits is high as fuck. Those are WrestleMania-esque fucking prices. That shit is high as fuck. So they're trying everything they possibly can to make it appeal more to celebrities. They want to make it appeal more to political people, to athletes. They don't care about the regular people. But you know who Vince did when it came to the money? Vince could give a fuck about our feelings. He proved that time and time again with his booking. But when it came to the money, Vince knew affordable ticket prices is the way to go. Now, when you're looking at TKO, they're trying to inflate their numbers. When you're looking at TKO, they're doing everything they possibly can to make up this fucking money in whatever city that they're at. That's why they have to consistently change venues. That's why they have to consistently not show the empty seats that they have at these fucking shows because the ticket prices are so high because we're taking a fucking stand. Like I said, chat, when it comes to booking, yes, under the TKO regime, it clears current day Vince McMahon. When it comes to the financial decisions, Vince McMahon could be 99 years old with stage 4 fucking colon cancer, and I'm still trusting that motherfucker with the money of the company before I trust TKO. That's
They're
just a
doing
fact.
everything in
I
their
said this.
power to make these tickets through the roof. Like you were saying for the UFC event, I was trying to cover Dustin for my podcast, and I want to go and see it. And bro, the nosebleeds in the Smoothie King Center have no business being $300. I am sorry. That's I live in Louisiana. I know that stadium. I've gone to basketball games there. That stadium is not a nice venue, but you go there to see the event. And the fact that the basketball team in their peak of bestness wouldn't charge $300 for nosebleeds tells you how money hungry TKO is. It's absolutely absurd.
I said this a few months ago when we were in the lead up to Survivor Series that these ticket prices are ridiculous, and I got trolled for it like I always do whenever I bring up a valid point. The first thing people do is to troll me. But again, these fucking ticket prices are absolutely fucking absurd. Wrestling is supposed to be. Wrestling is supposed to be. It's supposed to be where you can take your families to it and stuff. I haven't been to a WWE show in 2023. It's not because I don't hate the product. It's because these ticket prices are absolutely insane. I'm not paying $150 to watch the show with Sting in the rafters. To watch the show with Eddie, to have the same seat with Eddie Guerrero. I'm not doing wrestling. I'm not watching.
You gotta stop.
That was crazy.
I'm not spending money for that shit. I'm not. I'm telling you I'm not. I'm telling you I'm not. And like, I'm telling you I'm not. And this comment section is gonna fucking laugh at me because I know how y'all fucking are. I went to AEW Revolution last year. I went to phenomenal show, best wrestling show I've ever been to live. That was Sting's retirement match.
How much were them ticket prices, Kev? How much their prices, Kev?
You had 16,000 people in that arena. My ticket prices for me, I spent 75 to like $90 on tickets, and I had pretty good seats. This wasn't me sitting up there in the nosebleeds either. I had pretty good fucking seats for that. And it's just these ticket prices are absolutely.
Bro,
These
it's
ticket
bad.
prices are what you're saying. I understand why they're doing it because at the end of the day, they are filling out arenas and shit, so they're going to continue to raise the ticket prices even more. But yeah, these ticket prices are absolutely.
I'm looking
Here's the
right
thing.
now because I'm going to AEW All In. My bad, Louise. My bad, Mo. I'm looking at AEW All In right now for right by the road on the flow, $241. Like if I click the section in
That's front row.
That's right next. That's front row right next to the
Wait, how much?
the ramp going in.
All in?
$241 right next to where they entrance.
That's it. Wait. The All In Texas?
All in Texas. I'm
Gee,
Yo,
you might have
hey,
to
yo,
go.
I might have to
go.
slide for that.
I am. I am going. I'm going for my birthday. Now I'm on TickPick.
You might have to go, bro.
Section
Man, I might have to slide,
104.
bro. I might have to slide.
Section 104, row 6.
You about to see Hangman put belt to ass.
I'm sorry. 107, row 19, $124 with like great viewing. That's not the nosebleed. So I'm telling y'all, this shit is absurd how AEW can charge decent prices, but WWE is trying to outprice everybody.
Bro, not even all in. If you look at Dynamite ticket prices right now, you can get floor seats for like $300-400. Floor seats for like $300-400.
So this is the only
ticket prices are ridiculous.
This is the only part where, even though floor seats for $300, whatever, that's still crazy. We also, and I'm not defending TKO by any means because I wanted to go to a show in San Antonio, and my goodness, bro, like what are we doing here?
He said
right?
9. He said.
But what I will say though,
numbers.
the difference with AEW and WWE that I will say, and again, this is not to defend TKO, but AEW can charge those prices because they don't make nearly as much money.
That's fair.
That is
a good point.
Right? Because when WWE wasn't making this money, because it's tough because I do understand to an extent why TKO ups the prices because that's what any company is going to do. If you have a product that is as hot as WWE has been pretty much since 39, you can say 38, but really 39, right? Because that's when, even though Vince came back, that was the mania. We were all like, okay, right? And then you have what you got at 40. Yeah, you're going to up the prices because right now your value is at the highest it's probably ever been. And
Here's-
highest it's ever been in a long time. 'Cause
here's
with
what I'll
Vince,
say to that.
in real quick, because Vince in them dog years of 18 and 19, yeah, you could probably find a four sleep for like $400 at that point. Because even though WWE was still WWE, their hottest product nobody watched. They didn't crack 1 million. Their hottest product NXT, they didn't crack 1 million viewers.
No.
So if your hottest product ain't even cracking 1 million, well, shoot, Raw was holding on to a thread.
I will say though, 2021, 2022 SmackDown. Let's wake it up now. 2021, and I can say because I did go to a SmackDown in that time frame. 2021, 2022 SmackDown. We got peak Roman, peak Usos, Gunther as IC champion still in this fucking time frame in there. Braun Strowman bitch ass just came back. Sheamus is on SmackDown. Those tickets are probably going to run you about $75 to $90. SmackDown now, which Solo bitch ass opening and closing the show, is going to run you about $150 for some fucking nosebleeds. And if you want to get closer, that's like $600. So you mean to tell me, is it worth spending in the time frame that I win it? Is it worth spending $75, $90 to see peak Roman, starting Gunther hitting his stride, peak Usos, Sheamus, Braun Strowman? I'll spend $75 for $90 for that, and I'm getting some insane quality, but I'm paying more to see less?
And it's a recession.
That's the problem all of us have, is we were spending less to see more. That's what Vince gave us. I don't want to see Solo bitch ass.
I don't either, bro. The last episode of Raw that I went to.
I don't either.
Bro, the last episode of Raw that I went to. Solo Sikoa was fucking terrible. No, I mean the last Raw that I went to in 2023. Right, the last Raw that I went to in 2023. That was the Gunther Chad Gable IC title main event.
That was great. That was amazing.
The last Raw
that show had stars on it. You had Gunther, obviously. You had Seth. I think KO was on that show, but you had Sammy. You had Jay. Like that show had stars, and tickets are not nearly as high as they are now. But I'm telling you this right now, bro. I'm not paying $150 to watch Solo Sikoa open and close SmackDown. I promise you, I'm not. To watch that mid-ass show, I'm not.
The last Raw I went to was when CM Punk and Cody faced off when they was in New Orleans, getting ready for Rumble, and like, bro, outside of that moment, they ain't have nothing else in that fucking show, and I paid so much money for them damn seats, bro. That shit was annoying.
Only thing I'll say, and again, this is not to defend TKO. I just think this is what you do, right? Anybody who has ever worked or interviewed for a job or understand how contracts work.
Yes.
You have your low end and you have your high end.
Yes.
Usually what you'll do, like, for example, when my girl went to go, when she became a lead at her job.
Yes.
What she asked for was the max amount.
Got him.
You're going to ask for the max amount.
No, you're worth.
So that way, when y'all come down to an agreement, it's really the amount you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like, so if you, let's say you want $25 an hour, you're really going to settle at 23 when the starting rate is like 20. That's how that's going to work. What WWE did, or TKO rather, they saw how crazy Mania 40 was. I've talked so many times about how so many more eyes have came back to this product, especially coming out of COVID. Which
they milking it.
They came literally when they came out of COVID and all them fans kind of stuff started coming back. I was like, y'all need to think. I mean, there's other people, but mainly y'all need to thank Roman Reigns because a lot of people are coming back to see this bloodline stuff.
I don't even think I can't give you the Roman Reigns stuff because I don't even think it's. I'm not trying to discredit him. I'm not trying to discredit him. I don't even think it was Roman Reigns. Part of the reason why WWE got so hot, especially in 2021, I'm not saying Roman didn't play a part. He did. Part of the reason why WWE got so hot is because holy shit, we can actually go to these fucking shows again. Yeah, man, I'll buy a ticket. I'll go. That is part of the reason why. It's not just. No. Do not give all the credit to Roman in the bloodline. Don't do that. Don't give all the credit to Roman in the bloodline. Do not do that.
You got to credit
that. I can give that like 15%.
Like I'm saying,
that's not 15%.
I gotta say smaller than that. I gotta give it 5.
I'll give Roman 85 and Lashley the other 15.
See, I was about to say it's Roman. I agree with G. It's Roman, and also the emergence of AEW due to Cody Rhodes building that company so there was competition. It's Cody and AEW and then Roman. I'm not saying ticket price.
I'll say,
No,
all right,
it's not.
here's
It's
what
not
I'll
that.
say.
It's not that. It's the
Roman.
fact that it's not that. It's the fact that It's the fact that people couldn't attend shit for
And
2
that's
years
why.
because of COVID. So
But
when COVID stopped, fans started coming into the building more.
here's
That
why
is
I'm only
part of it.
here's why I'm only going to give a little bit of credit to that, not a lot. I'm gonna give a small amount because yes, that first immediate oh snap, we're gonna start touring again and going to live shows again. Yes, I'll give you the immediate bump, right? The reason why I say I give that small credit because if they were still trying to do Alexa Bliss mind controlling Nia Jax in front of live crowds,
Wasn't working.
nobody would be showing up to that. The booking also got slightly better. I mean, I don't remember the exact time frame of when they went back to live crowds and when Vince got packed up out of there. I don't remember the exact
That
time
was a
frame.
year later.
But there was a
literally
yeah, okay. So there was a small
played
bump
into it as well.
I was about to say there was a small bump. There was a small bump of hey, the live crowds are back, but the shows were still awful. We were still complaining about how bad Raw was, right? The shows were still awful, but a lot of people, and I'm not talking about the fans that were watching who were diehard and now they're going to the shows. I'm talking about the fans that had stopped watching for years, especially during COVID. We already got the people that tuned out when AEW started at 18, 19, right? But then COVID happened and we saw Nia Jax getting mind controlled by Alexa Bliss. Ain't nobody was trying to watch that stuff, right? So we had people that genuinely left. When they came back, that small little bump of crowds, yeah, that was cool. But Bloodline, and again, we had people. Bailey, MVP of the Thunderdome. Oscar was cooking. You had Drew McIntyre doing work.
Facts.
Monday Night Messiah, I think would have been so much better, but it got suffered by the fact that there was nobody there. Monday Night Messiah might have been Seth's peak if we was in front of a crowd,
business,
right? But the Hurt Business, there was so many good things about the Thunderdome that people really don't talk about. But because it was in the Thunderdome, nobody was there.
Brian was great.
Yeah, right. A lot of people started coming back because if you was going to watch anything in that, the top 3 things that people were watching during that Thunderdome was everything Bloodline related.
Oh, that's a fact.
The Fiend, and then you had your Drew McIntyres, or you had your Hurt Business, or you had your Bailey.
If we're doing like a triangle tier, I'd say like tier 1 is Roman and Paul Heyman by themselves.
I agree.
Tier 2 would be Usos and Sammy. Tier 3 would be Gunther and Lashley. I think those guys.
Well, Usos and Sammy weren't even in the Thunderdome.
But see, okay,
I
see what you're saying, G. But I think we got to say the bump, the boom in wrestling comes a little later. I think the Bloodline 100%. I agree with you on this. 100%. They sparked it. 1,000%.
Yes.
I think when Vince leaves, Triple H takes over. Stories are better. That is another bump. And then I think the Cody Rhodes and CM Punk coming back to WWE and seeing their stories was the final straw. And then you have
it was really Cody because
that's
small minute.
That's what I'm saying. I think when Cody comes back and you have Cody Roman and you have a true babyface, a true heel, that's what made WWE over.
Because I was the first person. Cody Rhodes was the first person that when he came back was like, oh, this could be the face of your company.
Yep.
Because Roman ain't got much longer. Even though, you could argue the Drews at Clash of the Castle, that would have been a great moment.
They didn't have
the face of the company.
Yeah.
You could have argued Seth Rollins even at one point. Right? It wouldn't have been the face of the company.
Man,
Seth Rollins still ain't the face of the company.
That's a fact, G.
I personally think Drew was the guy before Cody came back.
Right, and because that's why I say if you were not going to give it to Cody, let's say Cody coming back wasn't even an
it had to be
idea.
It
would have been true.
Yeah,
it would have been true. It would have been true.
It's Drew McIntyre,
right?
Yep.
So
no
that's
question.
But this
no
is what
question.
I'll say. We kind of went on a tangent, but I said all that over to say TKO. So honestly, and I think it really kickstarted at 40. Right, 39 was great, but it was kind of like you still had your backlash because Roman had
Vince there.
49 proved it. 49 proved that Triple H led with Cody being the face. This shit is popping.
And so when you see like Vince came back and it was like segments started being cut again.
One night
it was
like Triple H's night. Night 2 was Vince's night. You could see that shit, bro.
We were still kind of there. Once we got to 40,
crazy G baby called that after all these years.
I literally called it.
Oh, you said it, bro?
Yeah.
Hey, real.
It was kind of obvious.
We literally have a famous one that gets passed around of me sitting up here with a Saint shirt on and a red hat, just covering my face. And I said on that stream, Vince had to have came back because there's no way night 2 got booked the way it did, and Vince didn't show.
And they reported it the next night.
Respect. Hey,
They reported
you
the
called
next night that
shit,
Vince
bro.
wrote
Yeah,
a rod to
That
Mania.
was terrible. Night 2,
Yep.
when you saw Omos walk out, you knew Vince booked that
Oh,
shit,
that
bro.
shit was great though. That shit
It was.
great.
I'm not hating.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa,
sorry.
whoa,
I'm
that
not
was
hating
great.
on
Hold on,
Omos.
hold
I
on.
know y'all Omos.
I get
Homo
Omos.
sapiens.
I get Omos.
Honestly,
Oh,
honestly,
TV.
You
night,
knew. You
night
knew
two
he came
didn't
out.
get
It was
night
Vince
two.
thing.
Night 2 didn't get bad for me until Bianca retained. Once
Mm.
Bianca retained, I was like, oh no.
Stop
Hey,
lying.
I was like,
You was contemplating life when Finn lost. You was
Yeah.
was
it-
Oh,
wasn't that
that's
after
the
that?
key. No,
Was it
that
that
was
after
before.
that?
I think. Hold on, let me pull that up because you're
I look
absolutely
here.
right.
After.
You absolutely
I
right.
look here.
Luis. The demon losing the edge. Oh,
Yeah,
that
I was like,
I look
this is
here.
not a Triple H decision. This is not a
Uh,
Triple H decision.
we might have some insight on truth get released and Carlito get released.
word.
Guess the minimum contract for main roster talent.
Oh, I saw that.
Is it 500,000?
350,000.
Can I get signed?
$350,000 is the minimum for a main roster talent contract.
Oh, and you right, G. Edge and Finn was 6. That was the second to last. You was absolutely right.
So can I get signed? I ain't got to
Wait,
do
wait, wait,
This
wait,
nigga
wait.
here.
I'm not gonna lie. You said the minimum contract for a talent is
350,000.
350,000.
Yeah,
It's
350.
Okay, so
350,000.
here's the thing. I know we kind of been on TKO for a minute, but here's my thing when it comes to that, right? I hear 350,000, but correct me if I'm wrong. Unless it changed in the past year or two, do they not still pay for their own flights?
Oh, they definitely do.
Do they not still pay for their own travel?
It's only AEW. That was confirmed.
I don't-
That was
Right,
I don't
confirmed
think-
the other
so
day.
I don't think they pay. I don't think they pay for their. I don't think they pay. I'm trying to. I don't think they pay
Nah,
for their
Bobby
flights.
Bobby
I think-
Lashley
I
confirmed
think-
that on his
I
interview
think-
with Chris Van Vliet. They still pay for travel and hotels.
They still pay for
Yeah,
travel.
100%.
Okay,
No, I know
So-
they pay for. No, I know they pay for travel and shit, but flights. I think WWE sets up the thing to where you're
They
flying.
might
down
set
here.
it up, but they pay for it.
So
It comes out their check.
here's my point with that. Yeah, I hear 350,000, but it's kind of like
It's
what
less.
people forget about with NFL contracts. Y'all know they have to pay taxes for
Yep.
whatever state they play in.
Yep.
So, like, let's say you in Texas, right? That's where your home base is. Let's say you play for the Cowboys. Yeah, half of your contract, you ain't got to pay no state income tax. But if you play
for the Giants,
if you play the
Giants.
NFC West, and then you got to go to New York, and then you got to go Seattle, yeah, you're gonna pay a couple state income taxes. So with WWE, yeah, I hear 350,000, but then I'm like, okay, but take into account all the travel they got to pay for,
The
and this is just
hotels.
minimum. And again, mind you, this is minimum contracts. This ain't the max. This is just minimum. The contracts you got to pay, the travel you got to play. That's why a lot of people get buses because
Yep.
why am I gonna keep paying for flights?
Or they
Right,
carpool.
the hotels, right? The car, that you know what I mean. So
DJ
350K.
NXT talent don't count. They travel like once a month, yo.
Yeah, NXT.
Yeah,
NXT.
That's
why that's why when NXT talent gets called up,
They live in
change their
yeah.
change their
Hey Cam, they ask is
their
Apollo
non-compete
getting that
clause and they
350?
change all that. So
Yeah,
And that's
what?
why they live in Florida, so they don't have to pay for travel. And you know what I'm saying?
Right,
They
so
stay right next to where they live. I mean,
my
right next to where they
my
perform.
overall point with
But
the
WWE requires them to. So if you sign with NXT, they require you move to Florida. That's
Yeah, you gotta
required.
live there.
Well, yeah, but my overall point with this whole thing is like, yeah, I hear 350,000, and I get TKO is like, they're trying to TKO is trying to maximize how hot the company got, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I really do understand it. We just now need to kind of find a middle ground. Right?
Also, the
we
fact
need to
that we're
find
in a
that middle
recession,
ground.
like you have to take consideration the country's status of not having a lot of money. That's why Las Vegas had to pay $1 billion for WrestleMania to come back so they can get income in their city.
For me, the main middle ground should be the regular shows, bro. We gotta make it go back to the fucking $90.
Yeah. A pay-per-view or a PLE, I get it.
Big four though, tax however you fucking want.
Yeah,
to
I get it.
But Raw, SmackDown, 100%.
Baseball
Because
stadiums, you're in football stadiums.
Because WrestleMania, right? Like, yeah, everybody was complaining about Vegas. I honestly it's because it's Vegas. Because WrestleMania tickets are always expensive.
Yeah.
But it was in Vegas. And Vegas, let's be real, the only thing people go to do in Vegas is gamble.
Is spend money.
It was Vegas on 420 and Easter Sunday. Of course, that shit was hot.
The fact that also another reason is the fact that Vegas tourism is down due to the economy. Vegas overcharged for them tickets so they can make as much money as possible. So because they're not going to make money elsewhere because people aren't coming.
Vegas understands too. Like I don't like. Y'all probably saw the reports that they want every year. They want either WrestleMania,
The
they
Final
want the
Four.
Final Four, or the
Mhm.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's all they care about. If they get
No.
if they can get one of those, they'll be all right.
As
Give
long
them the
as-
Final Four though, because the Final Four, I mean,
As long
it's
as
the
we're in a
least.
recession, Vegas will pay what they have to pay
Have fun with
Oh,
to
that.
make
relax, hold
sure
on.
they make money because tourism
Respect
isn't
the
coming
Final
in.
Four. Respect the Final Four.
Oh yeah, and the Final Four is fire. G, you tripping?
But we talking about the
That's why I
Super
said-
Bowl, bro.
That's why I said
Compared
give
to
them the Final Four because
That's
that's
Yeah, they
popping.
can have that.
Also,
Sure.
co-
Basically,
college football playoffs could go there
y'all
too.
can understand how much money Vegas got to play with too. Like Vegas about to have the most WrestleManias ever. Like by the time
Duh,
they-
because bro, I'm donating to Vegas right now on Prize
Which is
Picks.
crazy because the
all
last
they
one
gotta
before
do-
Oh, yeah,
40,
I've donated
the last
to
one
Vegas
before 40
with
was 31 years
Sleeper,
Bro,
old.
you know how
Vegas-
many people
all
donate to
Vegas gotta
Vegas on
do-
Prize Picks?
The crazy thing is, all Vegas has to do is go to each of those casino owners, say, "Hey, you want tourism? Insert how much money each of y'all got to pay. We come together and give that money to WWE." That's exactly why New Orleans got screwed. There was no backing in New Orleans that could outpay what Vegas was paying because all
Well,
the casino
and-
owners were saying, "Hey, we gonna pay that."
Not even just the casino owners. Go in the chat right now and see how many people donate money every day to Prize Picks, Sleeper.
That's true.
Yeah, like you know what I mean,
That's true.
FanDuel and all that. But yeah, I mean TKO. Like I said, I know. To wrap up this whole conversation on TKO and everything, Carlito's pretty much done. I mean,
Did
I
y'all
don't
talk
think
Mariah May? Just out
No,
of
we-
curiosity? Oh, okay.
no, we haven't yet. I mean, we can, but so we
Oh,
talked
you,
about
you didn't hear the news about Mariah May? You sound like you don't.
who me?
Yeah.
No, she coming to WWE.
Oh yeah, that's what I. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's been known though. Like once she lost to Tony Storm, that's been known. Like,
Well, I mean, it's official now, though. Like,
I mean, it's official, but it's been known. It's been known. I wasn't really
I would-
that's not news to me. That's
I
just
can
like
see her at that
If
level.
you
Okay,
see
cool.
if you see a Mariah "Marry Me" sign, just know it is me.
and
Can't
hey,
tag me.
that makes
I
sense
will
why
brag.
JC Jane is the NXT champion because now it's like okay, we
Well,
drop.
Well, everybody else is-
I actually want to touch on that a little bit. So I feel I know people are probably well now that we know the context. Jordan is also getting called up to SmackDown, but in the moment, people are like, "Oh, why couldn't you just have Jordan Grace beat Stephanie at Battleground?" Then I feel the reason JC Jane won the title is because one, Jordan Grace is already solidified and she doesn't need the title to be a star, and two, JC Jane winning in the way that she did makes her an immediate star and it stacks up the division a little bit more. So she really wasn't shit without the title. Now that she has the title, you would kind of have to give a shit about her now, which
And
puts
I
her
don't-
in the forefront. I don't.
and
hate
I don't
the
even
decision.
I don't hate JC James. I was just shocked, and then I heard they were moving up. Right, I was like, oh, okay, that makes
We
more
know
sense.
Mariah May getting the NXT Women's
But
title. Come on.
Yeah, Mariah
I'm
May's
not gonna lie,
getting
JC Jane been there since literally the start of 2.0.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was, why are you still there? Like, I didn't think my thought process was, well, it doesn't clearly seem like they're gonna give you the title. When they introduced the North American, I thought that was perfect for you. And then Fallon won.
Fallon was gonna get the world title.
I was like, well, I guess you're not getting that title. So I didn't see the point. Now, this could be a good run. Because I'm gonna reference Mandy Rose because when Mandy Rose first won that title, I was like, man, ain't nobody trying to see that shit.
JC
And
Jane
then
is not.
she turned that into I think a great run. I
thought it was a great
Mandy
run.
Rose saved her own career before she got cut and released. But I thought, wow, NXT can do no wrong because even in 2.0 they fixed Mandy Rose and now
Gigi
I
and
thought she could be
JC
a
were
threat.
lit tag team.
They put the champ.
I just think with JC Jane, with her winning that title, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think she deserves it. She's been there through the trenches. She was there in the rebirth of everything. So give her the title, let her have a good amount of run. If Julie and Stephanie didn't hold that title for long, ain't nobody tripping that JC ain't finna do it. JC ain't finna go on a 200-day run.
JC Jane is going to be champion for about 2 months Mariah May, we all know, is making the jump. Mariah May's coming in, and at whatever NXT pay-per-view they run, Mariah May's winning the title. She's transition. JC Jane is going to transition the title. We're going to put the title on JC. She's going to transition that bitch when we can legally sign her. She's going to transition that bitch over to Mariah May. That's what the fuck is happening.
I don't think Mariah May is winning that title off rip. I don't think that's happening.
I think Fallon cost.
But even then, I don't think Mariah May is winning that title off rip. I think Mariah May will get it, but I genuinely believe the combination of, I don't care which one you want to put it on, with the combination of either a Jada Parker, a Lola Vice, a Kalani Jordan, or if we keep it a buck, if they decide to move her up,
I think she clears all of them. To be honest,
I'm not saying she doesn't. I'm just saying I don't think they will put the title on her.
I think they really want the belt on Jada Parker. That's
what I'm saying. I think Jada Parker.
I feel like Jada
before Mariah.
They want her as champion.
Yeah, I think Jada will get it before Mariah will.
You said you think they want the belt on Jada. I agree.
Hell yeah.
My bad for missing that. I had to step out. That's my only thing with Mariah coming in. I want Jada to be the face of NXT
Last Legend
before.
got next. Hey.
I want Jada to be the face of NXT before I want Mariah. To be honest with y'all.
But I don't think she's gonna win it off.
How we feeling about these debates? Are we going there?
Well, are we gonna talk about what I asked about?
Shit, forgot. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this will be my final question before we get into the actual debates. I just want to ask.
We need your review first, brother.
Well, no. I'm gonna ask.
We about to get
crashed
crashed out, Cam. I can already tell.
So the question that I asked offline, and this is a genuine question. This ain't even me trolling. This is just a genuine question for y'all. I want to know. What about this match makes y'all still hold it in high regards, like relative to era, it still stands the test? I just genuinely want to know, what about Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat on WrestleMania 3? I genuinely want to know. What is it about that match?
Oh, don't do that.
That makes you. No, this is a genuine question.
Move on. Go on to the debate. Go on to the debate. Lewis, go on to the debate. It's time to move on.
To me, all right. So
can you just answer the question?
Here's me. All right, I'll give you my answer. I'll give you my answer, right? So to me, when it comes to the relative to era aspect, these two guys in that specific time frame were the number one and number two in-ring working guys on the entire fucking planet. Right. So they were legit one of the first just straight up back and forth technical masterclass match that we've fucking seen in that time frame. That to me is why it stands out, because if you want to learn how to properly be a technical wrestler, and not only be a technical wrestler, but understand how to do the simplicity of technical wrestling and learn how to do it at an elite level and actually build to the moves that you're doing, you watch Flair versus Steamboat. You watch that match because they did everything from their arm drags to their drop to their locks.
Macho Man.
Yeah,
you said
Flair Steamboat. I'm sorry.
Savage
Steamboat. I'm sorry. Savage Steamboat. Savage Steamboat. They do the simplicity at the most elite level. And when you watch that match, you see why guys like Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan Danielson, Gunther, all these guys, Chad Gable, Kurt Angle, you see why all these guys have elite technical prowess is because mainly anybody who does any part of technical wrestling praises that match, sees that match, and has learned from that match. That match alone, for its impact that it's had on a wrestling style alone, fuck the match. A wrestling style on its own is otherworldly. You won't find another match that has the same impact on that. Maybe Ricochet and Ospreay when it comes to high flying, because that shit broke the internet when it came out. But that's it. In terms of a style and influencing a style and popularizing it and showing that you can be the man with that style, nobody did it better in that match. Nobody did it better than Savage and Steamboat.
So what I'm basically hearing from you right now, and I'm not trying to minimize what you're saying because I'm trying to take everything in.
Yeah.
But basically, it's kind of like that was really the first time we saw technical wrestling at an elite level.
Yes.
Is that basically
blueprint?
Yes.
It was
right.
Yeah,
okay. So it was
the
blueprint to you can have a technical wrestling.
Now
match.
to this day, I don't have it at, just so you understand, I don't have it as the GO IC match like other people do. I don't. I think just like you think, like past eras, I think it's gotten passed up. I don't think there's a lot that clears it, because I think the triple threat at Mania 39 with Gunther, I think that's better. I think Razor and Shawn, even though I don't think it's better, I think they're on the same wavelength. So there are matches that have happened over time, but when you look at the history, the impact, and what it brought to the table for workhorses in WWE, it's that match, man. That match.
Can I go real quick and I'll let you go in, like, because I'm just gonna be real brief. My thing is real quick. People think of matches like Brett and his brother. People think of matches like Stone Cold and Brett. To me, what that match did and like Louis said, it built up building blocks for Kurt Angle, Zack Sabre, all these guys. What that match did is showed how you can do technical wrestling, but be exciting and be where, oh, I'm on the edge of my seat because of these graps. Like, they were the first people to do that, and they did the blueprint for it. And I think it stands over, like Louis said, I don't think it's better than the Gunther match. There's matches today that it's not better than, of course. But I think when you look at some of those matches in the new generation era, they can't hold a candle to the Steamboat in Macho Man match in terms of certain IC matches that were championship. I think those guys were the blueprint. You go ahead,
If
Cam.
you go back and watch, let's say Shawn and Razor from WrestleMania 10, right in that ladder match. Going back and watching it and comparing it to other ladder matches today, it's a fairly basic ladder match. It's a fairly basic ladder match. What made that match so elite and why that match is still remembered to this day, it's the groundwork and the foundation of what every ladder match has been built off of to this very day. It is the exact foundation of what every ladder match has been built off of to this day. That is why something like Shawn and Razor is still held up in very high regard, even though if you watch it, it's a fairly basic ladder match. There are plenty of ladder matches in the 2000s and the 2010s, even today, that you'll look at and go, this is much better than Shawn and Razor. But if you watch it, this is much better than Shawn and Razor. But the fact that every ladder match has built off that foundation from Shawn and Razor. There you go. But fuck this. I got a question for you, G. Why is it that you just don't go back and watch old school? Are you going to sit there and tell me with a straight face that there is nothing from the 80s or 90s to intrigue you? Do you watch a Dusty Rhodes promo from NWA 1980s and go, this shit sucks? Why is it that you just don't like? Why is it that you just don't like 1980s wrestling and that you just quit to dismiss? That's what I want to know. Because
I do think some of it's unwatchable.
I'm scared.
I do think some of it is.
I'm scared.
Some of it is unwatchable. Some of it is unwatchable. I'm not denying that. But if you go back and you watch certain shit,
so is modern day wrestling. You see Solo?
No, true.
Exactly. You will see that a lot of stuff that carried over from the 80s, they're doing today.
No, 100%.
They're still doing it today. So why is it that you just don't like 1980s wrestling and 90s wrestling? Why is it just you're stuck on 2010s WWE?
To your point about Shawn and Razor.
I want a serious answer to this so I can understand. I don't understand it. I don't know how you look at a promo like a Dusty Rhodes and be like, I don't know how you look at Dusty Rhodes or how you look at shit they were doing in the in the 80s. How you look at shit like fucking the Freebirds. How you look at shit like the Freebirds doing an angle where they blinded JYD and they were massively hated because of it. How you look at shit like the Freebirds and the Von Erichs, where the Freebirds were hated because of it. And the Von Erichs are so fucking beloved because of what he meant. Because of what they meant to Texas and shit. And the Freebirds are doing the Freebirds are doing some of the most heinous shit you will ever see. I don't know how you look at 1980s wrestling and just go, this shit sucks. I seriously want to know.
Where is it?
Is it my turn? Is it my turn to answer?
Hold on. Where's the meme?
I think Mo has
the
it
meme?
gone, and then
Yeah, I was like, is it my turn to answer or?
go ahead, Mo.
No. Go ahead.
Well, first off, I never said anything about like promos or segments and anything like that. I was specifically talking about wrestling. And to answer the question also even further, I literally sat there and I said, you know what? Everybody keep talking about this Savage Steamboat match that I've only heard about, and I've never sat there and watched the 15 minutes of it.
What the fuck?
So let me go.
Put in the chat. Oh, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, y'all gotta get that out of there.
fuck.
What the hell?
Okay.
Is she bad?
I don't know what y'all see. I don't know. It's different on my end right now because I'm the
It's
host.
You
But-
put 18K? Hey, listen, hold on.
That's crazy.
Wait.
Hey, G, some man is
18K.
offering his wife
Hold on, bro.
for 18K.
Listen.
Look his face, G face when he heard that.
I mean,
I mean,
18K.
Listen.
Hey, man,
I'm paying
I can buy a
off
new
my
car
credit
right
card.
now.
Mo, that's like T-bone steak money for you. I'm not trying to hear it,
Oh, Mo
Shut
Rich?
up,
Mo,
nigga.
you a rich nigga?
bro. He's so rich, but we're not gonna get into that right now.
I needed
So
to.
to answer that question,
Oh,
I went
brother.
back and I was like, you know what? Everybody talk about this Ricky Steamboat,
There's the
Macho
beef.
Man, Randy Savage match. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, you know what? Let me go watch it. And I genuinely watched it with open mindset. I went in expecting nothing. The only thing I did was go watch like the little promo leading up to it, you know, to see, you know, the story. Because
Yeah.
and what I will give the match credit for, one, the crowd was into everything, start to finish. Like he got tossed over the rope and they went ballistic. I was like, okay, yeah, crowd is into this amazingly. Give
That's
them
the
that
one
credit.
thing. 80s wrestling is very electrifying.
Right. Story was good going
Yep.
in. Right. I think they kind of cut out more stuff that I probably could have went and watched episodes for. Nevertheless, story was good going in. I was like, okay, it's a basic story, but it's a good enough story. You can have basic and good at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
I watched that match. I was watching. I was like, okay, this is cool. I was watching. I knew it was only 15 minutes, so I saw the time. So I was like, okay, we're going to get to the finish. I saw the ref bump. I'm like, oh, ref bump. Interesting. I like that they brought back the ring, the ring bell because that was part of the story before. I was like, okay, cool. And then the finish happened. And I was like, oh, that's it.
You weren't hyped for the finish?
Damn,
the roll up? The roll up?
The finish ain't moving.
Yeah, the small pack. Yeah, you wasn't.
Yeah, so
But see, that's the first time that shit. You looking at it after
No,
a bunch of
no.
years of small
So let me
practice.
finish.
Savage was
Yeah.
champion for a long time.
Yeah, I knew
Savage
Savage
was champion
was
for a
champion for a
long
while.
time.
God
Right?
damn it, you didn't
I-
understand the full context.
No.
damn it.
Listen. I knew Savage was champion for a long time. He had damn near a year at that point, if not more. Right? I knew he had been a champion for a
No,
long
more
time.
than a year.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess you're saying that was the first time a small package had ever won like a title match or something? Is that what you're saying, Lynn? That was the first time.
That's what I thought. That's what I see. I'm not okay. So I when I watched that match, that's what I assumed because someone told me that. That might not be true, but when I watched that match, someone told me to watch because it was like one of the first times that shit was used in that high of a moment.
And right, and that's fine because again, the finish I didn't hate, but I was just kind of like, oh, that's it, no finisher. Oh, okay, cool. And then I went back and rewinded it. I was like, you know what? Let me watch it a second time. And I watched it a second time, and I was like, okay, I need to ask them why this is so important to them and why they are like so adamant that it stands the test of time. Now you've got told me it's because it laid the blueprint for technical wrestling, which in that instance, I agree. That was a good tech. That was good. That was good.
It was one of the
technical
first times
wrestling.
where two technical guys. It was back
Two
and
technical
forth.
guys back and forth because it was back and forth the whole time. It wasn't
actual good match at
like it was
WrestleMania.
like one guy was dominating and then come back. It was a good wrestling match.
Sorry.
That's why I wanted to ask the significance because I was like, "There's no way."
Oh, no, I didn't give you my match yet. Hold
See,
on.
they
I was
thought
like,
you was.
I'll give you.
was about to
there's
hate.
no way you
I'll
was
give you the
telling me.
simple significance.
But I was like,
I
because
ain't give
there's
you
no
my
way y'all are
match yet.
telling
You gonna
me
love my
that
match?
this was an all-time classic match.
I'll give you the
based on
simple.
what I just watched. But
I know,
with that context,
I'll give you the.
sure.
Here's the simple significance of it. The first good match at WrestleMania. That's it. Because every match from WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2, and all the way before that match happened.
And look, to be honest, there's no other match on this card that was fire in today's standards.
Well, Hogan.
What I'm hearing
today's
is-
standards.
honestly,
yes, okay.
honestly.
So what I'm hearing is
Honestly.
that this match, based on what Mo said, this match is significant because it took him 3 years to finally put on a good one.
No.
Hey, but but that
Okay, that's part of the reason.
See,
That's
don't
part of the
look
reason.
at it
it's
like
part
that.
of
the
That
reason.
means something. But that means
It's
something.
part of the
though.
reason.
You gotta for
But
example,
wait, okay,
It's the first
but-
like
when
class
we think
coat,
of like
you know what I mean?
basketball appearances, like the NBA didn't get fired until Magic and Bird put on that phenomenal performance. But by today's standards,
I'm glad
but
you brought that
no.
up.
no,
I'm
no,
glad you
no,
brought that up.
no, listen, no, but I can back it up.
No.
But by today's standards, Bird and Magic, they would be solid guys, but we still hold it in high regard. Same way we hold Macho Man and them in high regard.
So I'm glad you. I'm actually glad you brought that up because that's where I was finna go. So So
I'm scared.
Don't lie.
it's for me.
If
Right?
you sit there and tell me Randy Savage in today's era would just be another guy on the roster, I'm gonna walk out of there.
I'm not saying
I
that
swear to God, I
either.
am. Don't sit there. Don't sit there and tell me
Gee,
that,
no, he
G-Baby.
wouldn't.
Don't sit there and tell me that
I will
Randy
get-
Savage in today's era would just be a regular guy on the roster. Don't sit there and tell me that.
I mean, he wouldn't be
Go ahead,
just
go
a
ahead.
he wouldn't be like Apollo.
Don't tell me he would just be. Don't tell me
wouldn't
Randy
be a Apollo
Savage
Gee,
would just
Gee,
be a.
He
no,
wouldn't be what?
we got current day
I wouldn't.
Macho Man. His name is Jay Lethal. Macho Man would cook this era.
He would be great, bro.
I mean,
and like
that's
Seth
fine. I'm not-
Rollins, Seth
like I said,
Rollins
he'd be
did
one
a
of the
lot
guys.
for
Like I said,
Macho Man.
I wouldn't.
If Macho Man was here in his prime, he's made event of 4 WrestleManias and 1 or 2 Rumbles, guaranteed.
Easily.
I promise you, it's
I
facts.
promise
It's
that.
facts.
Now
Okay.
Steamboat would
Okay.
be a mid Carter. I'm gonna just call it
Steamboat is a
mid.
mid Carter. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a,
Okay.
Hold on, and then
Yeah,
you put
yeah,
him in
yeah,
NXT
yeah.
though. He holding that bitch.
NWA Ricky Steamboat and NWA Ricky Steamboat and AEW. That'd be a main eventer. That would be a
So-
Now
that
in
would be a headline guy.
AEW, that's a
that's
different
fine.
story.
He's like Cody.
In
He's like
AEW, that's a
Cody.
different story. No, don't compare my man to
Basically
Cody.
Cody.
Don't do that.
That-
Don't do that.
That's fine.
He basically
Mark,
that's
LA Knight
fine.
is about to win Money in the Bank. Why y'all keep bringing up LA Knight like he not about to win Money in the Bank? God damn it! Yeah,
He's not a
He a
bum. He's
bum.
saying. I think he's saying we got LA Knight. We good on Randy. I think that's what he's saying.
Or he's saying Macho Man is like
Oh,
LA Knight.
bro.
Or
Macho
saying
Man,
it's
Macho
like-
Man as a
it's
talent
like-
clears LA
it's-
Knight.
it's
Macho
like
Man as
LA
a
Knight.
talent.
Thank you.
I don't.
It's
Again,
like
I
a
can't speak for
disrespectful
Coach
clear.
Mark.
As
I'm
a
just going
talent, he
based off
clears
of
LA Knight. Let's
how
not
I
do
know
that.
him to think in the context clues I'm giving. So
He's just
and
better.
the stream is also delayed by like 15 seconds. So
Brother,
who knows?
ooh.
But all
true.
I'm saying is when I watched the match, I said, okay, I need to ask these guys why it's so significant to them. Because when I just watch it, it was a good match. I didn't watch the whole show because I'm not wasting time like
Yeah,
that.
because
It was
it
a good match.
You don't
But
have
I
to.
was like, and what I felt and what Lynn was kind of talking about, it's kind of like when people talk to me about, oh, you don't understand. Like Mo even tried to make this argument, like, oh man, I can't take away the fact.
So
of,
you
like,
said
how
good match, not a classic. Best what you said.
I think.
Basically
Well,
what you said.
when I watched it, that's how I felt. Now,
From your
afterwards,
for your personal
Right.
thing, good match.
now,
not a
Now you
the
have the
context
context.
of it
Okay.
being the first good one and the first time a technical match was exciting, all that, I can give it its love for that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If that's the first time it ever happened,
There we go.
cool.
Okay. Cool. We're on
Right.
the same
So I
wavelength
can
then.
give it that. But
Yeah.
like,
classic. No macho.
I was watching it and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It's good, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Like,
His girl
let's
probably
keep it
walked
pushing.
in. You watching
Like,
the 80s?
okay,
He's
cool.
like, it ain't what it looked
I
like.
didn't
Hold on.
feel the oh my gosh,
He
this
said-
was such a classic like
said-
everybody else did. You know what I mean? Like I
No,
don't feel it,
I hear you. I
right.
hear you.
And when I look at the 80s, in the most part, there's more stuff I gotta go watch, right? But when I look at that, that's how I feel for the most part. So like when you bring up like the basketball comparison, Magic and Bird coming in the league to me is like the start of the Attitude Era. That's how I feel about Magic and Bird coming in.
If you're going back to if you're going back to
All
watch,
right, hey,
This-
let me give you something. Let me give you something.
if you're
I feel
that
you.
were there before the Attitude.
Hey,
Era.
let me say,
Right?
let me give you,
I
let me
hear
give
what
you
you're
who I
saying.
think
I
they
hear
are.
what you're saying.
Wait, can you-
my volume was turned down.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
I
yes.
All right,
yeah, I think my volume.
G,
was
I
turned
got
down.
you. Magic and Bird, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Their feud. That's where it starts.
Michael
Oh,
You
they're
gotta say
feud?
something stupid
Okay.
about
Yeah,
Brett.
they're
Michael
feud.
Jordan
Okay.
would be
Their
Austin.
feud
Michael
is where
Jordan
it
would be
starts.
Austin. Actually, that's perfect. Michael Jordan is Austin, and then
Yeah.
every time my Via has success, it's because Austin ain't there. So Hakeem. Yeah, there we go.
Look, that's where we go with it.
Ah,
That's
shit.
crazy.
And then look, you could have
Oh,
the
fuck.
Hogan, the Macho Man as
Can I
Bill
call
Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West.
Can I
That's those
call? Would it be nasty of me to call Bret Hart Clyde Drexler?
dudes. Nah, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
that's
you're gross.
disgusting.
Yeah.
That's
Stop.
gross.
log off.
Hell no.
Why?
Get to the debate. Get to the debate. G,
Wow, what the-
G-
wow.
G-
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Brett
are
is
Larry
definitely
Bird and
definitely
Magic
Larry
Johnson.
Bird.
100%.
He's definitely Larry Bird.
debate, please.
Sean
don't you gotta
is
leave
more
us-
Sean is
excited,
mad.
just like
Yeah.
that.
Hey Mo, do you have Gunther after what we've seen? Because we know he's gonna win more, but like just based on what we've seen on that, would you consider Gunther to be like up there as far as all time WWE? I know you have to take in accomplishments technically, but like
terms
just
of,
as a
like-
like
You know the
a
answer,
What's
talent, like a talent.
Mo, you know the answer. You know the
As a
You know the
talent?
answer.
In ring wise, I think
You
he's top
know
10 in
the
WWE.
character
Oh, you think in ring wise he's
Without
top 10 already?
But you got to include
And
character wise.
character wise,
Hey,
he's
ring-wise,
getting there.
No,
He-
here's what
he-
you
Man,
gotta
he's
understand
getting
about
it.
the
He's
getting
character.
it.
How good he is in the ring is a reflection on his character.
In the ring,
So
It's
if
kind
you're
of a
saying
character,
so if you're saying the in-ring
Okay.
work is great, you have no choice but to say the character is
I
great
see
because
what
the
you're saying.
character is reliant on how good he is in the ring.
That's a fair point.
So,
I'm
so with
just
that being
saying,
said,
that's just me.
hey, so that being said, Mo, would you say that
Gunther Chris
Gunther
Bret
is
Hart.
Nikola
Yes, I will put
Jokic?
that out right now. Yes. You said what?
Would you say that
Huh?
Gunther is modern day Nikola Jokic?
Y'all let him cook. Hold on, man.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not-
100%.
that's not a
I've
bad
always said
take.
that. 100%.
That's not a
100%.
bad take at
Hey,
all.
100%.
Nikola Jokic top 10.
100%.
I don't care what y'all say.
Oh
You
yeah,
know
he's
what I mean?
cook. Oh, let him
That's-
cook. Let him
Hey,
cook. Let him
gee,
cook.
I'm not mad at that. That's
He
that's
he
a very
over
good
he
take.
over that green man, that man in the green jersey. He over Mr. Birdman.
I was about to say, would you?
I'm
would
not
you
lying.
say-
He over Bill
Bill Burr's
Russell.
not
Too.
top 10
He
either.
over Bill
Pump
Russell
the
too.
brakes.
He over
Pump
Bill
the
Russell
Yeah,
brakes.
too.
no.
Pump
Bill
the
Russell and
brakes.
Will are not real.
But Larry Bird's not top 10 either. So the fuck?
Relax on
Larry Bird's
Larry.
not
Stop
top 10
playing him.
either.
Yeah,
Because
let's
Go
go
to
to
the
the
debates. Go to the
debates.
debates. Go to the
That's
debates.
what-
Go to the
Y'all
debates.
gonna make me start talking
'Cause
basketball.
I disagree with that. I disagree with
Tayshaun
that. I disagree with
technically
that.
Undertaker's Kareem, but like just better though.
Hey,
Like a better
hey,
version
all
of
y'all
Kareem.
shut your ass up.
A
all
better
right?
version of Kareem.
Undertaker Kareem.
I'm not arguing.
A better
Undertaker.
version of
I'm not
Kareem.
I'm not arguing
I
with
agree
y'all
with
this
that.
week.
I agree with
am
that.
not.
Captain,
I refuse.
yeah.
I am not arguing. I am the host. So please, fuck you. Switch the
I'm with
fucking
Kareem
positions.
today.
God damn it! Before y'all get me mad, I'm over here defending Uncle Mark on my days off and shit when I'm not debating. Man,
What's wrong
fuck
with him
you.
being Kareem?
I said the better version
Shit is
because
underrated.
Kareem.
Fuck you too.
Because Kareem.
That's the GOAT, bro.
Not
That is
Kareem,
all
not a
wrong
bad
with
call for Undertaker. Hey, G,
Man.
I'm gonna hit you up. We should do something with this.
I'm only
The
talking about the
longevity?
longevity, but
Always
Yeah.
on top. Like, yeah,
Always
longevity.
winning through
I
some
hate-
Big
I
man,
hate-
from
like, come
high
on, bro.
school to the
Perfect.
NBA. Like that's some Undertaker.
but don't get
shit,
it
bro.
twisted. Don't get it twisted.
Was only
I'm not
ass in
gonna
like the
lie, I'm not
last
gonna lie.
stage.
Let
Like,
Jokic get another ring. We're gonna have some conversations y'all don't want
Jokic
to
is
have.
That nigga is.
Jokic
Can
is
you
the
cut
greatest
it
basketball
out?
player of all time.
no.
Can you
no.
cut it out, Mr. Nuggets fan, please?
I mean, Kareem not even better than Shaq or Hakeem.
All right,
So
wait.
annoying.
All right, hold on. So, G,
Move on.
real quick. NBA Finals.
next
in what?
topic.
Because Cam's a Pacers fan. NBA Finals and what?
Oh, he's a Pacers fan. He's
Yeah.
actually lucky I'm rooting for the Pacers.
Yeah, I'm pulling for the Pacers. I got Pacers.
So he's
in
actually
6.
lucky I'm rooting for them.
Pacers at 6.
Pacers in
And
6.
six
I
is
got
crazy.
Pacers in 6.
His 6 is crazy.
I got
Thunder
Thunder
at
in
5.
5. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not
Cam,
gonna lie.
I'm
If the
gonna
Knicks would have won the
Pacers in
series,
six, brother.
they would have got swept.
Yeah, the Knicks would have got their ass buzzed by
I was gonna say, who's
OKC.
Wilt?
OKC
Alright,
would
that's a
have
good
beat.
question.
Yeah, it would have been OKC in 4 if they played the Knicks. 100%.
OKC was busting everybody's ass. OKC was busting everybody's ass. They came out the East. We keep it the big.
Oh, out the East?
they
Out
flip-
the East, they was busting everybody's ass.
I think the Pacers got a real shot. I think the Pacers got a real shot just because of how everyone can play defense and shoot on that team. I
I'm
think they got a
sorry.
real shot.
I'm sorry.
do you say? Jokic is
Pascal
made it
trying to
past
do
the
that
second round
spin move
twice?
on Pascal trying to do that spin move on iHeart. iHeart sending that bitch to the stands every time. I'm sorry.
Somebody said Halliburton unite. That's
Stupid.
crazy.
Hey, shout out to Hallie, man.
What the fuck?
Hey,
Yo,
I saw on Twitter somebody said it's gonna be the Halliburton versus the Al Shader.
Debate. All right. So hey guys, we're doing the Ultimate Wrestling debate.
Sick fucks.
We got some very interesting questions for you guys. I just want to let the chat know how I run my debates. Just so you know, the reason I'm not participating is 1, I haven't hosted one in a long time, and 2, I'm still undefeated in these shits. The last time I was here, I 1v3'd and I still whipped ass. So yeah, I'm undefeated. I never lost, and it's better to keep me off these shits because belt to ass happens every time.
Damn.
With that being said, though, we got some very fun questions. Obviously, we got Lynn, we got G Baby. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be representing No Name, and obviously, y'all already know I rated them with my life. Rated them is my blood. So we got Team Rated M below us, Mo, the face of Rated M, and Crash Out Cam because y'all like Cam. How I strictly run my debates. I could give less of a fuck who the obvious answer is. I could give less of a fuck who the right answer is. What I want you guys to do is put together the best argument you possibly can. I don't, for example, if I'm talking about peaks, I don't care if it's Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Even though Jeff Hardy's the obvious choice, I'm giving Sheamus a fighting chance. Put together a constructive argument that would win me over to lean to Sheamus. That's all I care about. So I don't care who's right. I just care about who's putting together the stronger argument for their team. That's all I care about. And if you're lying, I'm going to intervene and tell you to stop fucking lying, because some of y'all like to put people down and to uplift other people when shit is not true. So if I see that shit, I'm going to say stop doing that shit and stick with your fucking stick with your argument. But stop doing that shit. But like I said, put together a clear, concise argument for your guy. I don't care who the obvious choice is. I don't care if we're doing a debate of who's better, John Cena or Santino. If you can't put together a strong debate on why John Cena clears Santino, I'm gonna fucking pick Santino. So just so everybody's aware. Um, with that being said, I'd like for Lynn, since you're the guest, Cam, you're fucking team rated M, and I see you all the time, so fuck you. Lynn, since you're the guest, I'd like you to pick a number between 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.
Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 2. The answer is 1.
Nice.
So you guys have the list. I'm going to read out the debate questions. I know I said I had a specific order, but honestly, I'm here for chaos. I don't give a fuck which.
Oh, so we can choose which one we want?
You can choose whichever one you want, just so everybody's aware. The questions are: one of the questions, who had the better rookie year, Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle? Second question, you can't say John Cena, who is AJ Styles' best rival in WWE? And 3, excluding Hulk Hogan, who do you think would have been the most trusted to carry the golden era? It's best of 3, first of 2 wins. Let's talk about it. Lynn, G, yeah, let me know what questions you're rocking with. Each team, I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes. There's not a lot of us. And, Mo, I know Mo got to be somewhere on the 2-hour mark. So I'm going to give each team 4 minutes. And
that's why we started on time today, guys.
Okay.
That's why we started on time today.
So y'all let me know what question you want to do, and you guys let me know.
We already got it. We already got it. We
got our order on which we want to go first. We want to do the golden era, who would be trusted the most.
Interesting.
And our answer is Macho Man Randy Savage would be our choice.
It's 4 minutes starting right now. Go ahead, fellas.
So with Macho Man Randy Savage, when we're talking the golden era, what's important is baby faces. Hulk Hogan was not putting a heel. Vince McMahon was not putting a heel as the face of his company. That wasn't the time. They were selling merchandise. They were trying to go global. They were sponsorships. One of the most important sponsorships, even outside of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan didn't have the sponsorship. You want to know which one it was? It was the Slim Jim sponsorship. That brought so much eyes and numbers onto WWE, and outside of Hulk Hogan, the biggest merch seller after him was Macho Man Randy Savage. So if you take Hulk Hogan out, number one merch seller is Macho Man Randy Savage. You saw what he did with Slim Jim. You saw how the kids were attracted to him. They put him in cartoons. The action figure sales that he did were through the roof. He is the one that Vince McMahon would have to go to and say, hey, you are my babyface. On top of that, if you're doing a babyface Macho Man Randy Savage, you have Miss Elizabeth. So not only are you appealing to the little boys, you're appealing to the little girls. Gee, you want to add anything else in, brother?
Well, I'm glad you started with, or you ended with, Miss Elizabeth, because if you were going to trust somebody not named Hulk Hogan to be the face of your company, well, that dynamic between Macho Man and Elizabeth was already beloved. Think about the moment when they finally came back together after being apart for a while. The crowd went crazy, right? So that alone, that appealing to the kids, appealing to the audience, if you're not going to have, work out and eat your vitamins, brother, well, there's a romance relationship that everybody can fall in love with. Another thing that I think is crucial, right? We kind of talked about it earlier, right? We talk about how that WrestleMania 3 match between Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage, right? It's considered one of the greatest of all time in WrestleMania history, one of the greatest IC title matches of all time. And some of the reasons we described is because of the blueprint that it laid for technical wrestling. Well, now you have a guy, right? We get rid of the Hulk Hogan and the massive pythons, brother, right? You have a guy that can do the technical wrestling and make it exciting. You have a guy that already is connected with the fans. And even when that brief period where you could say he was a heel and he was doing, some things, even when he was going crazy, you knew he was still beloved, as I mentioned earlier, from when that moment where they finally come back together. And I think one thing to making somebody a face of the company is where if you can kind of play both sides of the spectrum, being a baby face and being that heel, right? And people will still be beloved with you even after a while. I think that says a lot, and that to me showed that okay, if Hulk Hogan wasn't here, wasn't talking about eating the vitamins. All right, we don't have to turn him heel. He would be right there. He would be your top baby face. He can give you the in-ring work. He can give you the promos. He can give you the character. Everything you want in a baby face. I mean, as an overall talent, we've said multiple times that we think Macho Man and Randy Savage is a better talent than Hulk Hogan. He just wasn't as popular. You get rid of Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage slides right in.
To piggyback off of what G said, we know that Hulk Hogan was big into Hollywood. We understand that. But even though that if Randy Savage fills that spot, people may say, oh, well, he'll just go to Hollywood like Hulk did. Randy always had Hollywood opportunities. He mentioned multiple times that he wasn't going to Hollywood until it was time for him to go, which he did in the late 90s. So you, instead of having your superstar leave and go to Hollywood, you would have a guy that was committed to Vince, committed to the company, because of his stance on Hollywood. And like G said, he could put forth the best matches. You don't have to wait until you get a champion down the line to have great matches. The main event starts with great champions right away with Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right. Is that it? 4 seconds. Y'all want to add anything?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Cam, check out G.
That was a fucking damn. That's all I got to say. That was Mo, Kim, y'all got some ground, man. That was beautifully explained. Let me know when y'all ready. I'll let you know when your 4 minutes start.
All right, Cam, you're gonna have to kick it off with that one, and I'll just you're gonna have to explain that
Want me
one.
to kick it off?
All right, let me know when. Let me know when y'all start.
Yeah.
All right, give me a minute.
Lewis, my bad. Do we get a rebuttal?
Yes.
Okay, cool deal.
So 1-1 rebuttal.
Gotcha. Perfect.
So do we rebut first, or do we come up? So do I rebut first, or do I come up with this first?
No, you come up with your opening statement, you fucking asswipe.
Now
Okay.
you let
That's
y'all
crazy.
foundation down. You don't
That's
get to
crazy.
rebuttal until the next. I'm assuming, yeah.
So let me know when.
All right, let's go.
All right, start now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right. You guys want Randy Savage? We're gonna go with Roddy Piper. We're gonna go with Roddy Piper. We're gonna go with Piper for a few reasons. One, we're gonna go with Piper for a few reasons. One, you talk about the rock and wrestling era that obviously was started the golden era. Roddy Piper was easily the biggest heel of that era, and Hogan chasing him around made him even more. And Hogan chasing him around made him even more hated. You guys brought up a point. I'm sorry. You guys brought up a point about Vince McMahon wanting to put a babyface in that spot. Well, I agree. Was going to be a babyface in that spot. I agree. Was going to be a babyface in that spot. You could argue when he turned baby Piper when he came back to WWE and he turned babyface after a stint in Hollywood. Piper was very, very over. Like, Piper was very, very over, and they kept him as a babyface. And you look at the segments, and you look at the celebrity segments that he did with people like Morton Downey Jr. WrestleMania 5, I think, with Morton Downey Jr. And you look at WrestleMania 3 because I think he was on that show with the celebrity in the show. I could be wrong, but I think he was on the show with celebrity in that show. Piper was easily able to do that. Piper was easily able to work that kind of style. You want to talk about somebody that is a cultural icon? Roddy Piper started in They Live. They Live, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but I think They Live came out in the 80s. Right smack dab in the middle of the golden era. So he was obviously by far one of the most popular names. So he was obviously by far one of the most popular names in the company in that time period. And I don't think it would be that much of a stretch to put Piper in that spot as the top babyface of the company. Or if he does stay heel, I don't think it's that much of a stretch at all to say whoever works with Piper The baby faces are going to get more over because Roddy Piper is so fucking hated. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. Like you look at somebody like a Ric Flair in the NWA. Flair as a heel was hated. He was hated, and Flair was able. Ric Flair as a heel, and Jim Crockett was able to make a whole lot of guys just by him feuding with Flair, right? But just by him feuding with Flair. So I think Piper. I think it probably. So I think it would have transcended Piper in that same way also. But that is why I say Piper. But that's why I say Piper. Piper has. That's why I say Piper. He has the mainstream appeal. He has the mainstream appeal. He was doing movies. He was in there. He was hanging out with He was hanging out with celebrities and all that. But he was hanging out with celebrities and all that. And so that's why I went with Piper. Mo, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, like Cam said, I think of Piper, if he was the face of the company, I look at him like Ric Flair was to the territory system. Ric Flair, they paid to see him, they paid to go see his ass get kicked. Same thing. That would be the same thing with Roddy Piper. And I think Roddy Piper, like you mentioned, mainstream appeal. And also, Vince McMahon also showed some trust in Piper himself because he put Roddy Piper in the main event of the first ever WrestleMania. And with WrestleMania 2, whether the match itself was good or not, he was the main event of one of those venues for WrestleMania 2 against Mr. T. So obviously, Vince McMahon had this trust in Roddy
30
Piper.
seconds.
So I think if Hogan was not around, I think Roddy Piper would have been the drawing heel that Ric Flair was, or even if you want to go in a modern context, Roman Reigns has become. Roman Reigns was that final boss that everyone hated and wanted to see lose. Roddy Piper was a heat magnet, and they would have built off of that to make him the person to beat.
5 seconds. You guys want to add anything? All right, that was a very, honestly, in my opinion, before we get into the rebuttals, this is very 50-50 right now. I'm not just saying that to say the shit. I'll tell you if somebody's getting belt to ass right now to pick up the pace, but this is very 50-50. Very 50-50. 4-minute rebuttal starts right now. Go.
So, Lynn, before you go, I just want to add something super, super quick. So, I just want to address the point that Mo just actually kind of finished off with. He talked about, you look at a Roman Reigns type boss level heel or whatever the case. Well, this is the golden era, right? This is the golden era at that time. I don't know if they want to make a heel boss level type figure at that time. You know what I mean? Especially because, again, yes, we're eliminating Hulk Hogan, but the golden era is all about seeing the hero get that final win at the end of the day. Right, that's what they built. That's what they was building their brand off of. And I think with Macho Man Randy Savage, I do not think, even though Piper's great in his own right, I think they would want to see Macho Man Randy Savage. And let's just say we put them both together, right? Super babyface, super heel. I don't know if they want to see Roddy Piper get that win over Randy Savage, especially with the popularity of Miss Elizabeth backing him. And then Link,
Yes.
you have a quick rebuttal as well, but I don't think they're going to have a super level.
So,
heel
Luis,
threat
we
like that.
know that
Okay.
Pat Patterson was Vince McMahon's right-hand man. Pat Patterson was the one who helped Vince build this foundation of everything. Out of Roddy Piper's mouth, one of his most legendary interviews, it was Pat Patterson hated him. That is the reason why he didn't get as pushed as he thought he would. Pat Patterson is right next to Vince. Roddy Piper never won a championship in WWE. That is a fact. He did not win a championship during his WWE during his time. He didn't win. He challenged multiple times, and he would eventually win the Intercontinental and Tag Team. But during his 80s run, he did not win anything. Also, this is about trust. Correct, Luis? The question is trust. Before he joined WWE, he was fired by GCW in 1982. You want to know why? It's because he showed up late for a match. He showed up late. That is in his past. If you're giving him the ball, he's getting all this praise. Yes, he's with Cyndi Lauper. Yes, he's with all these people. Would that stop him from, letting his old ways come back in? That's something that's possible. It's about trust. Anything else you got, G?
2 minutes.
So what I will say about G's point with not having that face, right? What I think could have happened, because when let's say Hulk Hogan's reign started in 1983, where he was the guy, right? I think with Piper, you could have had a lot of baby faces around him that he could have been deflecting and beating them and continuing to draw his heat. While then, that's when towards the end of the golden era, you can have Randy Savage come in and basically be the Cody Rhodes to Roman to Piper's Roman Reigns. It's not a thing of, oh, nobody wants to see that. Yeah, Flair was the same thing. He was basically the final boss, and that was the '80s era, and it worked perfectly. And I think that it could work just fine
So,
in the
so
WWF.
to your point, Flair was the final boss in WCW. But if we want to look at the winners of WrestleMania, the WWE,
1 minute.
they didn't have a heel winner of WrestleMania until, I mean, I guess you could say Ultimate Warrior beats Hulk Hogan, but they were both baby faces there. And then the next year you have Hulk Hogan beating Slaughter. You haven't beaten Sid Justice. And then, okay, you don't have a heel winner until 1993, which is Yokozuna. But even then, Hulk Hogan comes back and win. Vince McMahon, as much as we talk about these heel bosses, yeah, that's a new modern era thing. We have to go back to
30
that
seconds.
era, and Vince was not about using heels at all. And we know Piper was a heel, whereas Macho Man, he was a face.
WWF was a babyface territory. I'll give you that. WWE, much like now, is a babyface territory. I'll give you that. However, though, with Piper, especially if Piper was the babyface, I don't think it would have taken people much. I don't think it would have gotten much to get people behind Roddy Piper. I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have. We've seen Piper cut great promos as a heel and as a babyface to get people behind him. You want to talk about cultural impact and stuff? We know that the golden era, and we know that the golden era, the rock and wrestling era, is what's called it's them interacting with celebrities. Is the third, Mr. King, and that Roddy Piper was able to do that, and Roddy Piper was able to remain one of the most consistent, was able to remain a top babyface in the company by doing that, by interacting with celebrities. Is on the third.
Any
Celebrities love them,
response to
fans.
Pat Patterson? Because Roddy Piper said Pat Patterson hated him.
Time
I,
is up. Time is up. I let Cam finish his statement. Cam, you got anything else?
I,
You don't, Cam?
yeah, that's it. That's
Oh,
it.
you
I
did?
was
All right.
going.
So, all right. This was a heavyweight bout. I ain't gonna lie. All right. So, in my head, immediately, I'm thinking, bro, the answer is Savage. It's Savage. Somebody's got to go with Savage. But Mo and Cam did a great job at putting Piper's case. I ain't gonna lie. So, Lynn, your opening statement, bro, that shit was, I'm not gonna lie, that shit was flawless as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. You talked about him just being loved, the sponsorships and how much attention the sponsorship grew. G did a great job at piggybacking with Miss Elizabeth and especially in a time frame where like romance is like really peak in this time frame, and that they can draw with the romance, and that Miss Elizabeth is also a figure in herself, because without Macho, there ain't no Miss Elizabeth, you know what I'm saying? Mo and Cam did a great job, and this is where I get into Mo and Cam. This is where they were really like throwing heavy shots because Lynn, I believe you said, oh man, there was something I thought that was the ether where, oh, it was the fact that you said, oh, like Piper was late and they fired him or whatever. I thought Mo and Cam did a great job at laying the blueprint on how you can build the shit around Piper. I feel like what Mo was trying to say, he didn't get to it, but I feel like what I got from my interpretation was Piper can be this revolving door for you to push babyface, because G was right. This is a babyface era, absolutely is. But Piper can be that revolving door where instead of you just mega pushing one babyface, you build the shit around Piper as a heel, and you're getting multiple baby faces, and whoever goes over Piper, that's immediate superstardom. So
Yeah.
for that, I'm gonna give it to Piper, because even though this is the golden era, whatever, the thing is, how would you do it? Who are you trusting? And I feel like
But you said the question was who Vince McMahon would trust. So you have
I
to
meant
go
to
in
put
the-
me. I meant
Oh,
to put
yeah.
me. I meant to put me, or not me, or like who would you trust? So, but I'm going Piper because I feel like I agree with Savage. There's nothing you guys said wrong. I feel like Piper being a revolving door for every babyface going forward, and you're constantly milking and building baby faces constantly with every one Piper touches. I think that puts it in a great place. So
If
I'm
you
gonna
look
give
at
the first one to Piper.
if you look at what I know we got to move on. I'm just saying if you look at what Crockett was doing, But if you look at what Crockett was doing with Flair, Ric Flair as a heel was so hated that he was used to build up like 3 or 4 different baby faces. If you look at what territories are doing at that time, if you look at what territories were doing at the time, even though it was still largely babyface territory, if you had a heel that was so hated, they couldn't make like 3 or 4 different baby faces because people are coming to see that baby face. Because people are coming to see that heel get his ass whooped. They want to see that heel get his ass whooped.
All right,
So if you have some,
Cam,
I'm
Mo, you
sorry, we
guys
can
gotta
move on.
pick. Yeah, no, because Mo, we got like 30 minutes left. Because Mo gotta go.
I'm sorry.
Um,
All right, I'm
Yep,
sorry. All right,
you
all right.
guys won that round. I'm giving it a Piper. It was nothing G Baby or Lynn said. They cooked. I just felt like that point where Mo said Piper is pretty much a revolving final boss for baby faces that touch him. Yeah, because that at that point you're milking baby faces. You're milking. You're gonna have a fucking locker room full of them.
I agree with you, but I just think the question being that it was about what Vince wanted, I think that like,
Well, I mean, I hear you, but I just went back and looked at the question. It just said, "Who do you think would have
oh,
been most
gotcha.
Okay,
successful?"
all
I
right.
thought it was
So
So,
based
I'm
on
glad.
Vince.
I'm glad
oh,
I
My
knew that.
bad.
yeah. So in fairness, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I still think,
I mean, Savage was my answer too.
yeah, my word, like,
Savage is
All
my answer
right,
too.
you Cam. I had to make sure. I wrote that. I had to make
Oh,
sure I
I know
wasn't.
the
I had to make sure I
we're
wasn't
picking the
tweaking. I
question,
did
right?
write that. We're cool. So no Vince was in there. All right, we're cool. Mo Cam question and who you repping?
Cam, can I make an
Uh,
executive decision? We're picking the rookie year question, and
All
I
right,
am
your
taking
4
Brock
minutes
Lesnar.
starts now. Go.
Look, man, look, Brock Lesnar, I think from a presentation standpoint, in terms of how they protected him for his entire rookie year, I don't think that man took a single clean loss. Kurt Angle, on what as great as his rookie year was, that man was getting squashed by Taz at Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar's momentum was always kept. That's one thing on presentation. Accolades, I think you can go tit for tat with both of them. I think both those guys' accolades was insane. But I think with Brock being WWE champion, but also going on to he was the focal point of SmackDown. Kurt Angle, when he was WWE champion, he was champion, but Brock mattered more. Austin mattered more when he circled back. Triple H mattered more. Brock was always when he got the belt, he was the guy. He was the guy. And on top of just main eventing WrestleMania. So even if you want to go from the accolade standpoint, I think Brock Lesnar's rookie year had the perfect mix of accolades, stories being told, like his feud with Rock, Undertaker, all that was there. All of it was just he had somebody's 20-year career in the span of 1 year.
You
Go ahead,
look at
Cam.
what Brock Lesnar again. If you look at what Brock Lesnar was able to do in his rookie year, it is this man had a Hall of Fame career in 1 year. You look at what he was. This man had a Hall of Fame career in 1 year. You look at what he was able to do. This man comes in from the jump, and he has one of the best debuts of all time. He's then presented as a monster. He's able to get over with the crowd to where people look at him like a monster, and he's not just a monster in the sense of and he's not just a monster in the typical sense. This is a guy who can go in there and he can wrestle with the best. He can go in there, he can wrestle with the best of them while being built like an absolute brick shit house. While being built like an absolute brick shit house. He goes in, right? He goes in and what's it called? Right? He goes in. He beats Rock at SummerSlam '02. Great, great story, great build up there at Rock and SummerSlam. You then look at the feud with Undertaker. Tremendous story with Undertaker. Tremendous story with the Undertaker. You then look at Paul Heyman, right? You then look at the story that was being told. You then look at the story that was being told going into the match with Big Show. Brock Lesnar, right? Paul Heyman could not control his beast. Paul Heyman couldn't control his beast. Brock Lesnar was starting to think for himself. He's starting to do shit that Paul Heyman was not telling him to do. So they go to SummerSlam. They go to SummerSlam. Heyman turns on Brock. And it doesn't take long for a guy that's been on the roster for a little over a year to turn babyface, and the fans are rocking with him just like that. He goes to the Rumble. Great final. He goes to the Rumble. Great final stretch, and then you look at what he was able to do at Mania. And then you look at the fact that he was able to revert back to heel role with the Kurt feud anyway. I got Brock. Anything on that, Mo?
I mean, yeah, I think you nailed it. To be honest, Loki, just
All right.
Pass.
All
Go ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
All right. You guys will be representing Kurt Angle. Come strong, boys. Pause. The fuck?
Whoa,
Pause.
whoa,
Pause.
whoa! That's getting clipped. That is
Pause.
getting clipped.
It's
Oh my
okay. I'm
gosh.
comfortable with my sexuality, anyways.
I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I'm the straightest dude up here.
like that.
4 minutes. Go.
All right. Well, Brock Lesnar is obviously a great choice, but the reason why we're gonna go Kurt Angle, not only because they picked it, but I'm actually gonna look at the degree of difficulty, right? That we look at with Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, yes, he debuted, had a great rookie year, but Stone Cold, he didn't dipped up out of there. He was kind of at the end. The Rock, he was kind of at the end. When Kurt Angle debuted, we talk about, Kurt Angle was champion, but you had other people to focus. When Kurt Angle came in, he still had to deal with a Stone Cold there. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, his first WrestleMania was WrestleMania X7. And that's Stone Cold and Austin, and that's Stone Cold and Rock, I think, Prime. X7 or whichever one it was.
2000.
Oh, yeah, WrestleMania 2000. Sorry.
WrestleMania
2000, my bad. 2000. But that's still Stone Cold, and what's it called? That's still Stone Cold and Austin and Rock at their prime. You know what I mean? When Brock came in, it was kind of at the end of their prime. They was damn
Brock's first couple matches with Tommy
point,
Dreamer,
right?
Billy Gunn. You got I'm looking at some others on Cage Match, Shelton Benjamin. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle is in the heat of Jericho, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, the degree of difficulty. And just to add on to what G was saying, I have a quote here from Kurt Angle, the reason why Vince McMahon trusted him. The reason why Vince McMahon went with him to win the world championship, because when I was at SummerSlam, I had a triple threat with Rock and Triple H, and I got a concussion during the match. I got wheeled away, but I came back and finished it. And Vince said, man, this guy is reliable. I'm going to put the title on him. So it's like, Kurt, thank you for being you. This guy, the degree of difficulty, again, like G said, man is battling concussions and injury, but still going out and finishing a match versus Triple H and The Rock and putting on banger after banger after banger. Brock Lesnar, yes, when you're the best there is, the best there was, you're supposed to go out there and do what you do. But Brock seemed like it wasn't that difficult. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle is playing the video game on hard mode.
Right, and when I look at, even when, because y'all said Kurt Angle, he won the championship, but he wasn't even really the focus. I mean, you could say that he wasn't technically the main focus because of the time he came in, but I mean, beating the Undertaker at Survivor Series, I don't know, that's a pretty good feat to me. Beating The Rock for the title, I mean, that's a pretty good feat to me. They clearly showing some trust. Not to say they didn't show trust to Brock Lesnar, obviously, but that's why I'm harping on the
also
degree of difficulty. Because yes, Brock Lesnar, when he came in, he was running through everybody, won the championship, and
also
who knows how many
Kurt's
months it was, right? Like 5 or 6.
G, he's a guy that comes in as the Olympic winner, where he's this gold standard, but he can also do comedy. Brock had one style, one mode. He driving 100 miles per hour on the freeway. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle could drive at 20, at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60, and then get to the 100.
He could drift. He could drift. He could hit the corner right away.
I believe Roman Reigns once said that when you're doing the same position over and over, it gets boring. Missionary. Brock might have been missionary.
Roman might be gay. I see Mo plotting. I'm not even gonna get into what the fuck I gotta say. 4 minutes start now.
Okay. Y'all said degree of difficulty. As soon as you said those words, my brain started turning, because when y'all said that, Kurt Angle, he came in at a time where not only was the talent pool in the WWF getting bigger and bigger, in the mid-card scene, the main event scene was stacked. With Brock Lesnar came around a time where the interest in wrestling was starting to go down. A lot of the top guys of the Attitude Era that Kurt Angle was working with were going out. That is, to me, hard. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's a little bit harder, because Brock Lesnar was not a sure thing. Brock Lesnar was a project, and from every standpoint in terms of his presentation, because y'all brought up Kurt Angle beat The Rock for his first WWE championship. So did Brock Lesnar in the main event.
I want to talk about project.
Brock Lesnar. Hold on. Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle beat The Undertaker at Survivor Series. Sure. Brock Lesnar destroyed him inside Hell in a Cell. Stood on top of the Hell in a Cell with the title just like
Right.
this, in the most dominant thing we've ever seen.
Right.
So presentation standpoint,
You
it's
can't
planet
say
to
that-
ass.
Okay,
Kurt
so
Angle-
you can't say okay.
And G, I
hear
gotta
what
go
you're
right
saying.
after
I'm really
you,
not trying to
because-
take away your argument. Yeah, that's fine. Because when I look at it, you talk about degree of difficulty. Yeah, you just brought up why Kurt Angle's was harder because he came into a time where all these guys were still his. So in order for him to have the rookie year that he did with the Angles, I mean the Austin and the Rock and all these guys still almost at the peak of their powers, you could say, where Brock Lesnar, right? They put him with Paul Heyman, and these guys are already declining. I hear you about the interest. The interest was declining. I'm not saying that's not hard to do, but for me, it's a lot harder to stand out when these guys already have who they're visioning already as their top stars. They already have their Stone Cold. They already have their Rocks. They already have all these other guys that they can look at. So now you're coming in after you declined the 10-year contract, mind you, and now you're coming in starting from the bottom, and you are working your way up to have the rookie year that you did. Whereas Brock is an imposing presence, right? Brock is an imposing presence. So you put an imposing presence with Paul Heyman, with a declining Stone Cold and the Rock and all that. That's a much easier recipe for
we didn't even
success
break it
than
down
the
to
other
the
one.
simplest points. Mo talked about how Brock wasn't a sure thing, and how Kurt Angle was more of a sure thing. Well, I'm sorry. Brock Lesnar went to OVW. He was a part of one of the biggest OVW, one of the best OVW classes of all time. Kurt Angle came in from the Olympics, didn't have no experience in pro wrestling, and took to that shit like a fish in water. I'm sorry, Brock Lesnar got taught in OVW. Kurt Angle's OVW was Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, coming right in, and he won the championship in his first year. You want to talk about a man just taking to this so fast? That is Kurt Angle. And to me, with the amount of people he had to face and the fact that he never did pro wrestling before, the degree of difficulty is through the roof.
All right, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Anybody? 43 seconds. 43
Cam,
seconds.
Cam, did you want to say
Anybody?
anything, or should I
Go again, Mo.
Go.
Okay.
43.
So you say Kurt Angle hit. Okay, I'll say this real quick. You said Kurt Angle, he had no experience in pro wrestling. Cool. Kurt Angle came in with cachet. Kurt Angle was an Olympic gold medal. That is not nothing to sneeze at. Brock Lesnar, nobody knew who he was. He just came in and completely destroyed everything, and it worked. It worked. We've seen people come in and be that dominant guy, and we all just like,
Yeah, but
Brock Lesnar came in and became the face of the company. Kurt Angle cannot say that.
It had cachet with the fact that he was an Olympic wrestler, but to the boys in the locker room, this guy never did a bump. This guy never did anything, and he earned their trust because of how good he was, whereas Brock had experience.
And oh crap, we're out of time.
Damn.
This was a heavyweight bout. I'm gonna. Yeah, no.
y'all's
Yeah,
rebuttals
both
good.
rebuttals were fucking amazing, but chat probably gonna hate me. I never thought I'd say this in my fucking life. G had an ether, bro.
Let's go, G.
The ether to me, Mo, you said nothing wrong. Cam, y'all said nothing wrong. The ether to me was coming in as Olympic gold medalist, and you got Stone Cold, my Via bitch ass, all these other insane box office guys, and you have to come in, and despite the fact that he was an Olympic gold medalist, there was no choice but for him to succeed. And to do it in the time frame that he did with those established guys, I have to give it a Kurt. I'm with you on Brock. Brock's presentation is planet to ass, but the degree of difficulty, G ethered. So I'm going Kurt Angle. I'm going with G and Lynn. So that leaves the final question. G and Lynn, they have the first saying. The final question is, you cannot say John Cena because that's the most Mickey Mouse ass fucking layup possible
Mo,
for
shut your
AJ.
shut.
You can't say John Cena in WWE. DJ, it's for you. I did this for you now. In WWE, who is AJ Styles' best rival? And before people say he doesn't have a lot of good ones, I was in the Discord yesterday. AJ, not counting Cena, has 4 to 5 really solid ones you can choose from. I'm not gonna say elite, but he has 4 to 5 like damn good ones that you can choose from. So before anybody says he only has Cena, he has more than Cena. You just gotta dig deep. But AJ got a couple really good ones. So y'all let me know when y'all ready.
All right, give
Yeah,
us a
we
second.
talking real quick. We talking real quick.
Shit, if y'all don't pick one, we'll pick the other. Shit.
Yes, sir. And DJ, we gonna need your opinion since AJ Styles is your man's, bro. But AJ got some heat.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
I'm just
crazy.
seeing how you feel. I'm just seeing how you feel.
No, that's
Yeah,
that's
because Nate talked about that. Shout out to our guy Nate.
Oh man, Nate nasty. Nate don't know he nasty, but he nasty. AJ Styles might have probably the most solid catalog. Not elite, not great, but for rivals, he got the most solid. It's like smooth. Rarely any road bumps there. You know what I'm saying? It's just smooth. You know what I'm saying? It's not a crazy shit that puts you up top like a roller coaster does, but it's smooth. It's like you driving. It's like, oh, AJ feud, cool. It's cool. It's smooth. Randy Orton, brother. Ugh, brother. Ugh.
What the?
All right, Lynn,
Y'all don't even
G.
remember that match.
Let's
Let's
go,
talk
man.
this.
What y'all going with? Time starts now.
So we are going to go with, not counting John Cena, obviously. We are going to go with Dean Ambrose as his best WWE rival. And I know what y'all are thinking. Like, oh, Mo's out there laughing and all that stuff, right? I get y'all, right? I know what y'all want to say. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that we got to look at, because we're not counting Cena. That Dean Ambrose feud, for me, is what solidified AJ Styles as, okay, he's good in WWE, right? Yes, the Cena feud was great. The Cena feud was awesome. Like, yeah, right? You can have that. But we've also seen other people beat John Cena and it not go anywhere. But when he won that WWE championship off of Dean Ambrose, that to me showed me, okay, Vince McMahon, especially with the way Vince McMahon was booking at this time period, okay, Vince McMahon sees it with AJ Styles. AJ Styles is going to be a main event player, because even though he had been a TNA star, AJ Styles had been well known. When you come to WWE, you never know. You never know with these guys. Vince will have the weirdest reasons to not book people, right? AJ Styles even said it himself. When he first got here, Vince was like, I have a lot of people who can do what you do. What makes you so special? And then he had to go show them, right? And especially when you add in the context, remember that first Mania match, he lost to Jericho, and it was like, oh no, what are we doing? And then they put him in the match with Roman Reigns. That was cool. And then they gave him the Cena feud. That was great for him. But that Dean Ambrose win, that WWE Championship win, especially dealing with the Ellsworth factor in it too, where they almost made it a comedy feud. The fact that he was able, that Dean Ambrose feud, they always had great matches, always had great promo segments. That feud, honestly, was the biggest part of probably one of the better eras of SmackDown we know to this day.
They were literally battling for to be the face that runs the place essentially on SmackDown. But the fact, like G said, the fact that they almost ruined it with the Ellsworth thing, it showed how much, they could dip into the comedy but still pull it back. Their personalities clash, but it was a good clash. It clashed very well. When you look at, people always want to talk about match ratings and everything. If you look at the match ratings of the AJ versus Dean Ambrose, you have no match, and I'm looking on Cage Match right now, that is under 7.47. You have 8.55, 7.81, 8.48, 8.78, 8.008, 7.47, 8.16. These matches banged. No matter what you want to say, they banged. And that TLC match, memorable. One of the more memorable matches in AJ Styles' career outside of the John Cena stuff.
And I get, because of John Cena, I feel like because he had the John Cena feud, and that was so spectacular, especially the way it all culminated at the end for John Cena winning 16. We forget how good that feud with Dean Ambrose was. We forget that was really, to me, even though the Cena feud was good, right? Great all time. We still talk about it to this day, right? We're expecting a rematch. We're expecting for them to run it back on a retirement tour. The Dean Ambrose one, that feud is what really solidified AJ as a main eventer. Because imagine, because if he doesn't win that feud, we're like, so what was the Cena win for? For what? For what? Like, what was the point? Right? That feud to me is what solidified AJ Styles is okay. Vince McMahon now sees it in you, and we're gonna put you at the top of the land of opportunity. SmackDown, mind you, one of the best eras of SmackDown TV ever. He was the face of that with John Cena on there, right? And this is Dean Ambrose coming off of winning the Shield.
You could say that Dean was arguably the most popular star on SmackDown at that time. You could argue that. And that Backlash match that they have in 2016, best match on the card, honestly, in that Backlash 2016. It was great.
All right, time is up. Anybody that's trying to argue Randy and AJ over Dean and AJ, you're wrong. You're loud and wrong. And shut up.
You don't even remember that.
I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I remember from that is the
shout out to our guy Nate. Nate wanted to run the Randy AJ. I told him he was gonna have to lead that one because me and G did not. We was not about to run.
Brother, there's better out there. Mo, Cam, 4 minutes start now.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. I was working with my equipment. Give me a second.
Right.
What the fuck just happened? My bad. What the fuck?
I mean,
what's
it's
up
cool.
with my shit, yo?
See, look. It's probably because you're trying to go get that T-bone steak. You're trying to find it.
Eat a Frank.
Trying to back
I
out.
never liked AJ versus Randy. It's just not better than Dean versus AJ. It's objectively not.
Should be
it's
good,
objectively not. If you could,
it's because you're not in your $1,000 studio, man. That's the problem. You bootlegging it like the rest of us. That's the problem.
Girl, it's nice.
All right, here we go. Y'all ready? 4 minutes starting now.
Yeah,
go with your answer. Go.
All right, so we decided, outside of John Cena, we decided that AJ Styles' best rival in WWE was Daniel Bryan.
I knew you were going there.
Reason why, I think from a match standpoint, I think Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, I wasn't going to do this, but hey, Lynn went to cage match, and you said they didn't go below a 7 point something. They didn't ever go below an 8.
We right there.
So match wise, they got better matches. And then also, if we want to just list the matches, I think their match at TLC 2018 was fantastic. I think that was one of the most underrated, maybe the most underrated match of 2018. Also, if you want to talk about the IC title final that they had in 2020, that is one of the best matches of that entire time period. And then also, if you want to think about it, AJ Styles being that dominant champion over that last year that he was champion, the best version of Daniel Bryan that we had gotten since the Yes Movement stemmed from AJ Styles being that baby. He was that babyface to bounce off of for the Planet's champion. Go ahead, Cam.
Look at how AJ Styles won the title. Wait, look at how Daniel Bryan. Excuse me. Look at how Daniel Bryan won the title from AJ Styles. Babyface versus babyface on SmackDown. Bryan gets desperate. He kicks AJ in the balls. Something we're not expecting. There's something we're not expecting. Because if you would have told somebody with a straight face that Yes Movement Bryan Danielson, or that Yes Movement Daniel Bryan would ever go back to being a heel, they would have looked at you funny. But you went heel. You can make the argument. Not even make the argument. You can you could make the argument that 2018, 2019 Planet's champion Daniel Bryan, for as short as it was, is the best Daniel Bryan that we've had. You can make an argument that is the best Daniel Bryan. You can make an argument that is the best Daniel Bryan we have. Him going heel was able to rejuvenate Smack. Him going heel was able to add even more juice on SmackDown because of that heel turn. We got fucking Mustafa Ali wrestling in main events, and we were able to get Kofi Mania out of it. But like you look at what that feud did, especially from a match quality standpoint. You can make the argument that, especially from a match quality standpoint, outside of John Cena and Roman Reigns, you could argue that AJ's had his best matches with Daniel Bryan. What do you want to add, Mo?
I mean, if we take a look at the Ambrose and AJ feud versus the Bryan and AJ feud, one thing you can't say about the Bryan and AJ feud is that there was a black mark. James Ellsworth consistently butting his head into these matches and into this feud with Ambrose was a big complaint at that time. I vividly remember people consistently complaining, especially when it came to the TLC match, when Ellsworth was the reason why AJ Styles retained. At least in this situation, Brian and AJ were just battling in terms of I'm better, you're better. It wasn't, oh, this goofy comedy character is interfering and making me retain my championship.
37 seconds in here. You guys got anything else you want to add? All right, rebuttals start now. Go ahead.
You going, Lynn?
No, go first, G. You remember do your thing.
Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to touch on, because Cam, you brought up like, oh, well, this is arguably could have been the better Daniel Bryan because it made Mustafa and Brock Kofi Mania. Like, wait, yeah, that's cool, but that ain't got nothing to do with the AJ Styles feud, right? That's what Daniel Bryan did after that. That ain't got nothing to do with the AJ Styles feud that they had. Now, Mo, you said that correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that you couldn't really have a black mark on the AJ Styles Daniel Bryan feud. They were just fine to see who's better, right? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but did AJ Styles not win that WWE title because he had to resort to a low blow? If you're just trying to figure out who's better, why you got to resort to them type of mannerisms, right? Right. So
it's called that's a heel turn though. That's a heel turn.
Was Ellsworth not a heel turn when he cost Dean? Was that not a heel turn? Was that not a heel turn?
No, nowhere near. That is so Mickey on so many levels.
Yeah, a mark is a mark.
You said that's a heel turn though. You didn't say good or bad. You said that's a heel turn.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Also, you want to talk about?
I'm just saying.
Also, to add on the G, you want to talk about Impact. This is the feud that solidified the face of the place on SmackDown. They were coming into something to make something solid. Whereas the Daniel Bryan AJ feud, is it memorable? Is it as memorable? Because we're talking about the best feud after Cena. Whereas when you're doing the face that makes the place, that's memorable. And yes, the Ellsworth thing, yeah, it may be a black mark, but you remember it. Whereas Daniel Bryan, do you remember that? I don't know.
I want to read.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to get this out of the way before I forget it. Please. No way are we comparing James Ellsworth helping AJ Styles retain the WWE Championship to Daniel Bryan shifting his character as a heel from a babyface into a heel and saying that's a black mark.
The only reason I brought it up,
no way in the same strategy.
Because you said that there's a black mark with the AJ Styles Dean Ambrose as people were complaining that Ellsworth helped AJ retain. And I said, and then you also brought up that, well, AJ and Daniel, they were just trying to figure out who's better. And I said, well, if you look at that, if they're just trying to figure out who's better, can you not say that Daniel Bryan having to resort to low blows ain't a black mark because you guys are two of the greatest wrestlers of all time? Why do we have to have that type of finish? And your words were, but that's a heel turn. So with Ellsworth. That's why I brought it up. We're not comparing what is better and who has more, whatever. I'm just bringing up what you said and saying, well, you can say the same thing here. That's the only reason I brought it up. And I'm also looking, how many matches, if y'all can correct me, how many matches did AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan have? Like, just one? And then he went on to Brock Lesnar.
I'm doing time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. You are doing time. How many matches did they have after he won the championship and he became the Planet's champion? Right? How many matches? Because I know he went to Brock right after.
They had three televised,
right? When were those three televised matches?
And I think one of them peaked out at 9.
Yeah, because TLC and Royal Rumble.
It was
right.
TLC, Rumble, and then the IC title.
How were all those? Well, TLC is TLC. No, wait. Was that a normal match or was it a TLC match?
It was a TLC match.
It was a TLC match. Okay, cool.
It was.
No, wait, no. Brian and AJ was a.
How did Daniel Bryan win that one? How did he win?
I thought you were talking about AJ and Dina. My bad.
No. How did he win the Royal Rumble one?
Believe it was help from Eric Rowan when he was playing as champion, because that was like he's completely shifted over. We're not comparing Eric Rowan.
I'm gonna give y'all an additional 2 minutes.
So you don't see that as why does Daniel Bryan need Eric Rowan to help him win the chip if you're just trying to prove who's better?
Bro, James Ellsworth was just turned just to turn. There was no actual follow-up. After that, AJ Styles literally beat the shit out of
follow-up
James
was the follow-up was I beat AJ Styles 3 times with the help of Dean Ambrose. So I can beat AJ Styles for the championship. That's why I helped Dean Ambrose. That's why I made Dean Ambrose lose because
also,
I can
what
beat
about
AJ
Impact?
Styles.
We're talking about the best feud after Cena, the impact of that. This feud made
can't-
AJ the face of SmackDown. Like this is remembered.
No. So, hey, go ahead.
What I
Cam.
was
I'm gonna
going to
let you
say
go first.
was the thing that I think solidified AJ Styles and made people go, "Oh shit, Vince McMahon sees it in AJ Styles." Is when AJ Styles beat John Cena at SummerSlam. I think that is the
No, for
thing
sure. That's
that made.
number one.
I think that is the thing that made people look at that because we're not talking about now John Cena. We're not talking about now John Cena. Where up until recently John Cena couldn't win a match to save his fucking life. Back in 2016, back in 2015, 2016. Stop calling me. I'm in the middle of something. Back in 2015, 2016, he was in the back in 2015, 2016, 2014. He was still he was still largely protected because you can make the argument that he was still the face of the company. So he was still largely protected. AJ beating John Cena is what made people go, "Oh shit!" Is what made people go, "Oh
I don't
shit!"
deny that.
Okay. This McMahon sees it with John Cena because
I don't deny
this
that.
isn't the John Cena. This isn't the John Cena that was that. This isn't the John Cena that couldn't win the match to save his fucking life. This is the John Cena that was still largely
But the
protected.
brand
That was
split,
still largely fucking
but the
protected.
brand split
So,
hadn't happened in a long time.
so what I'll build off of
And
that.
AJ
Okay.
beating Dean Ambrose for the belt of SmackDown when they didn't think a brand split could work at the time. People didn't think it could work in that era. But the feud with Dean and AJ made that work, and AJ won that feud. That's why it's memorable.
Because nobody's taking away the fact that AJ Styles was looked at as as a top player when he beat Cena. Nobody's taking that away. But when we're comparing it to the Daniel Bryan feud, the Dean Ambrose feud did more for AJ Styles than the Daniel Bryan feud could. Like, let's not get it twisted. We're not taking away Cena.
Tell us
We're
the
just saying the
impact
Dean
of
Ambrose
the
feud
Dean
did
Ambrose.
more for AJ Styles than the Daniel Bryan feud did at that point. That's why it's a better feud to me.
Okay.
Because it helped AJ way
Okay.
more and raised him up more. Whereas the Daniel Bryan feud, and let's be real, at least the Dean Ambrose feud he won. The Daniel Bryan feud he lost. 2 times.
Okay.
Or 3 times, whatever it was.
Feud, the Dean Ambrose feud, the difference between the two. The Dean Ambrose feud, was a continuation of AJ's already nuclear momentum from beating John Cena twice. The Daniel Bryan feud was an actual establishment of this new shift in that Daniel Bryan character. That is the difference.
But right there,
the
AJ,
the Ambrose feud
You
did not.
can say it's a shift
more.
for AJ's, but
Yeah,
you
for the
can say it's a
Danielson.
shift for AJ Styles as well because he is now truly the face that runs the place, and he got the championship.
But you see, G, he said it mattered more for Danielson, the AJ feud, than it matters more for AJ.
But that doesn't take away from the quality of the feuds, though.
But we're talking about who's
best.
AJ's best rival.
Yeah,
and the rival with Dean Ambrose helped AJ more than the rivalry with Daniel Bryan. If anything, that rivalry with Daniel Bryan helped Daniel Bryan more than he did.
That's what Mo just said.
But they were both
Mo
established at that
just
point.
Said it. It's better for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, they were both established at that point. So the feud that helps elevate somebody even more, because we talk about he beat John Cena. Kevin Owens beat John Cena. He was never put in that position to be like truly the face of something. Because even on Raw, when he was Universal Champion, Roman Reigns was still running that show.
Big difference because Kevin Owens lost that feud in the long run.
Kevin Owens never beat John Cena clean. Kevin Owens never beat John Cena
He
clean.
lost that feud in the long run.
When you talk
He
AJ
never
Styles
beat
won that
clean, and he
feud
lost that
clean.
feud in the long run.
AJ Styles won that feud clean.
KO won one match against Cena at the Elimination Chamber, and then
lost
at Money
twice.
in the Bank, and then at Battleground. He lost twice on back-to-back shows. AJ beat Cena at Money in the Bank, and then he beat him clean at SummerSlam.
The AJ Bryan feud would go down in Bryan's best rivals. It would be lower for AJ's best rivals, whereas the Ambrose feud would be higher on the list. The Bryan thing did more for Daniel Bryan than it did for AJ. We're talking about who's AJ's best feud after John Cena. Dean Ambrose's feud did more for AJ Styles than the Daniel Bryan one did.
All right. So I want to get my fucking points out of the way real quick. Even though there's some points I wish y'all brought up, I can't use it against or for you guys or whatever. I was disappointed that G and Lynn didn't bring up that a big reason why Survivor Series 2016 was so hot was because of the AJ and because of the AJ and Ambrose feud. And Kim, Mo, I'm upset that y'all, because I'm so pissed because motherfuckers are staying on one area, which is good, but AJ and Bryan had the IC title final that y'all could have brought up and y'all didn't use that.
I brought it up.
We did.
You brought it
We
up.
did.
All
We
right, I
did
didn't hear it.
bring
I didn't hear it. But here's the thing. Whenever one team try to push the carriage forward, the other team brought it back. And y'all know me. I always go by who brought the better argument. I feel like this argument was one feud propelled AJ, the other feud AJ propelled somebody else. Which to me doesn't matter with a feud. All I care about is if the feud is good or not.
Right.
But with that being said, though, I feel like Lynn and G, baby, I gotta give it to him.
Let's go, G.
I feel like they had more.
It was that Ellsworth point, wasn't it? It was the Ellsworth rebuttal, wasn't it?
It wasn't only the Ellsworth point. It was when Lynn said it was solidifying him as the face that runs the place as soon as he became champion, and that solidified him. And unlike when Ambrose lost the championship and it was a continuing fire story, when AJ lost the championship, it was kind of like rinse and repeat, and a lot of shit really wasn't going on for AJ after that, after he lost the championship. Right. At least Dean, when he lost the title, it kept going, which you guys had more leverage on. When Dean lost the title, their feud didn't end there. They had another banger match at TLC, and the Ellsworth heel turn and all that. So I think G and Lynn posed a better argument for Dean Ambrose. So I'm gonna go Lynn and G.
They didn't get swept. We just
we lost the first one.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, we lost the first
2-1. I think I fucked Lynn up a little bit with the question in the first.
No, I told G that's my fault. I paid too much attention to Vince. Right. We could have did it a little different, and we could have got that one.
Y'all got the dub anyways. Very strong arguments. I just feel like Dean just has more lore to play with and argue, and has more layers than, because Mo's not lying. Cam wasn't lying though. Cam brought it up. Help Mustafa Ali and help Kofi, but that wasn't AJ. It's connected to AJ.
Yeah,
sure,
right.
But it didn't happen with AJ. But
now, if you would have had what was a better feud, or like, and you would have it wasn't specifically to AJ, I probably would have went that, because it was the catalyst for so many other things to happen.
Yeah, so that's what I was leaning towards mentally. Like, what was the better feud?
I'm giving it to y'all, man. I'm giving it to y'all.
Hey, great match, Mo and Cam. That was incredible, bro. Like, I had so much fun being here.
That was
Nobody can say shit rated them biased. You feel me?
You were not biased.
That's why you gave it to him. You were trying to show that you weren't biased. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, nobody got cooked. It's just, I didn't think these debates would be as hard as this.
Look, they're great. They're amazing. But they're not special. G-Maniacs in the chat, please rise. G-Maniacs in the chat, please rise.
Chat. Let G-Baby
know. And I leave on this.
Chat. Let G-Baby know who the real Ultimate Wrestler Debate God is. Come on, man.
Hey, look, you undefeated. I've only lost once.
I'm 100% win rate. You at a 99?
Right. But I've been on your side. I be on your side most of the time.
We do be on the same team a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, every time
we do be on the same team.
Every time Malik do the random wheel, you and me are always on the same team.
I'm glad I could live up and hold you down, G. I'm glad I could hold you down, brother.
Do. It be me and Nate, right? It be me and Nate most of the time.
Let's not act like you wasn't carrying the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Hey, because I'm gonna be research. I'm gonna be real. I thought if I was judging, I'd have switched it and gave us round one.
Nah, you did. I ain't gonna lie.
That's where I'd have switched. But
your Miss Elizabeth argument was really good. It was really
that was a strong argument.
That was.
I thought we lost. I genuinely thought we lost.
Because when
Mo brought up that Piper could be the revolving door for box office babyface, I said, oh shit, yeah.
And see, I played too much in events because I told Nate at the end, I was like, I looked up about Pat Patterson, about how Vince was not pushing Piper because Pat Patterson did not like him. So like I was waiting.
Pat Patterson
for
with a booker back then.
Well, no, he was
He was
right hand man. Yeah, he was his right hand man.
If he didn't like you, you wasn't getting booked.
And Pat Patterson hated Piper. He hated him, bro. Piper said that out of his mouth. That's not like me reading something that's like someone else said. That was straight from a Piper interview because I was doing research before this came.
Hey, I was doing so much research. I watched WrestleMania 3, Savage Steamboat. I was like, let me go ahead and watch this match because I didn't want, and this is why I did not want to come up here in this debate and them try to use the argument. Well, you haven't watched the match, so you don't know.
Hey,
I'm
you
like,
did
nah,
the right
let me-
thing.
I was like,
You
let
did
me
the
watch
right
this
thing.
match. I was like, let me watch this match.
I definitely would have said that with my points. His bitch ass ain't watched the match.
And our backup was Steamboat for the first
When'd you
round.
watch
we
it?
was
When'd
we
you
had
watch
a
it?
Steamboat as our
Yesterday
backup.
and today. Or no,
instead of
today.
Viper.
Okay.
Today. Oh, that's
I was about to say
fresh
2
on his
days.
mind.
I was about to say
No,
2
no,
days.
no,
That's
no.
fresh
I
on his
watched it
mind,
twice
boy.
today, though. I watched it twice.
Yeah, no,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
all arguments was really solid. I got people blowing up my phone saying I disagree about the degree of difficulty with Kurt and Brock, and I just mic drop.
Hey, I gotta give G his
Kobe.
props. That's the only way we could argue that. That was the
That was
only way.
low key. Because I still got Brock, but that is low key.
That's
like
the
a really
only
good
way
argument.
we
Oh
can
yeah,
argue
yeah. It's Brock for sure. That's the only way I can argue that.
And we went down to just we're
I was
gonna
looking at- I was
argue
like-
it better.
Because I was looking at the years. I'm like, oh wait, Stone Cold was still here.
Shit,
Brock
y'all didn't
was
even
still
mention.
here.
Y'all didn't even mention the Triple H and Kurt Angle.
I really
Brock,
wanted y'all to say
triangle.
Survivor Series with Dean and AJ. I really wanted y'all to talk about that.
Oh
That's
my
the
god,
That
bro,
was
that was such a good story.
That's
that was
the ether,
so well
man.
told.
I said, are the SG?
You got the Shield reunion out of
He
that
loves
shit?
2016
Like,
so
come on,
much.
bro.
He don't say it. He didn't say it.
Shit, if I was arguing Ambrose, I would have brought that shit
He
up.
didn't say it. I said, damn, ING saying it. I said,
Hey,
damn,
I gotta
he
say,
really
when the
ain't
lights
saying
is on, you look for certain things and you just attack on certain things and you don't remember other things, bro. That's how it be happening.
it.
Right,
DJ,
y'all, I'm
since you
gonna
the AJ guy,
All right,
who'd you, in your opinion, who won? Who won the AJ debate? Since that's your man's. Since that's
Oh,
your
he
man's,
said
DJ.
said earlier that me and G Baby did AJ right.
He said y'all did AJ
Yeah.
right. Cam, how you feeling, bro?
I feel good. I feel good.
If y'all don't know, Cam started his own YouTube channel. He started making videos. Buckshot
yeah.
Graps. He's covering AEW.
Follow me on YouTube at Buckshot Graps. I will be covering AEW. I'm doing it for a couple reasons. One, everybody covers WWE. The shit is old. Two, I think TikTokers are fucking stupid when it comes to talking about AEW. And I wanted to add fucking common
Let's
sense.
go.
And I wanted to add common fucking sense for that. So there you go. But nah,
Respect.
if you're looking for some no, so if you're looking for somebody who is non-biased can get with AW content, make sure you check out the channel.
Prince. I'm glad you brought that match up because I fucking hate that match. You know why I hate that match? You know why I hate Dean versus AJ versus Cena? You know why I fucking hate that match? Because I hate the fucking ending. We done seen Cena go through so much shit, and one stupid ass chair shot to the back is what ends the fucking match. I hate that
Crazy.
fucking match. Fuck that match. I hate that. That's no mercy, right? Fuck that match. Fuck that match.
That's
That
Cena
match- I
shit at
hate
its finest.
I
bro.
hated the double submission because I'm like, was that not the double submission? Because I'm like,
I'm
bro,
trying to remember.
I'm almost positive there was a double submission on AJ, and it was like,
yeah, brother.
yeah, and I was like, come on, bro. Oh,
Bro.
side note, New York Liberty just beat the Connecticut Sun 100-52.
Ooh,
You know what? You know
geez.
why? I'm gonna give you a theory. You know why? We're taking for Juju early.
Yeah, I
Hey,
mean that's what
Delo-
everybody should be doing.
We're,
Hey,
taking,
what
we're
Chicago
doing
should be doing.
it better than everybody, though. We're doing it way better than.
Hey,
Oh,
daily
100
reminder.
is crazy. 100
Juju coming in the league, be about to be the best player, bro.
Hey,
Juju is
Hey,
insane.
Hey,
remember how we
daily
talked about
reminder?
donating to Vegas?
Hey,
Donate
daily
to Vegas,
reminder,
lost my
if you
one.
watch, daily reminder, if you are a fan of this show and you are a New York Knicks fan, I have one thing to say to you. Fuck you. The Knicks have two owners. Okay, the Knicks have two owners. Trae Young owns y'all, and Tyrese Halliburton owns there. We own partial stake in the New York Knicks. I want y'all to know. I heard from Knicks fans last year. Oh man, if we were healthy, man, y'all wouldn't have beat us around. Y'all were healthy this year, and we put belt to ass. That's what the fuck we did. I thought we couldn't win. I thought we couldn't win. I thought we couldn't win. I thought we couldn't win unless y'all were healthy. I thought we couldn't win if y'all were healthy. We put belt to ass. Fuck the New York Knicks. Tyrese Halliburton is the father. Tyrese Halliburton is the father of Jalen Brunson. It has been twice in the playoffs that we got that. It has been twice in the playoffs that we got that midget the fuck out of there. Tom Thibodeau, you deserve this for ruining Derrick Rose's career, for leaving him in that fucking game when you could have taken his ass out. He hasn't been the same since. So Derrick Rose, you say so. Tom Thibodeau, you deserve this. It's a justice for Derrick Rose. Fuck the New York Knicks. fuck you if you're a fan of the New York Knicks.
Hey, he
We
going in.
own y'all. We own y'all. We own your fucking
They in the
franchise.
bro.
We
Hey,
own
bro.
y'all.
Say, bro.
Hey, you know
I
what's
can't
so
be
crazy?
mad at it because
They
the
in the
Pacers
finals,
did
bro.
their
You
thing.
can't say
Yeah, they
shit.
did their thing.
They in the
Hey,
finals.
you know what's so
say
you know what's
shit,
so
man.
crazy? You know what's so crazy?
Can't say
I don't know
nothing
why
to that.
anybody believed the Knicks with Carl Anthony Towns.
Hey,
as
Big
the
Oh,
player
Bird!
was ever
hey,
going to make a Champions League finals.
I look
Carl
at
Anthony Towns.
Hey, Big
I look
Bird,
at I look
nigga,
at
Big
I look
Bird.
at I saw something. I saw something that Knicks players and the coaching staff were very not were, you know were they were very angry at Carl Anthony Towns. Carl, if you are watching this somehow, this message gets back to you. Don't listen to them niggas. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing, Cat. I
he
appreciate
been
you.
what you say? He been
Continue
the
what
most
you're doing, Cat.
unimpactful 50
Continue
point
what
game of
you're
all
doing.
time.
Carl Anthony Towns literally has the most unimpactful. I think it's a 60-point
60-point
game.
game.
The most unimpactful.
And they lost.
You know who they lost to?
The
The
Hornets.
Hornets.
That's bad, bro.
Hey, bro, look at, hey, bro, look
He
at fucking
said, bro,
Knicks.
he said, oh my
Hold
God.
on, I'm about to send y'all a video in the chat, bro, that I saw today about
Not you
fucking
trying to
Big
drive on OG. He's a good defender. This guy cat.
He
But
said,
yeah, I mean, it is
he
what it
said-
is.
he
And I just
said
want to
what?
let y'all know. I want to let y'all know, man.
He said what?
Everybody
He
who told me
said-
that Nuggets window was closed, yeah, we're the only ones to take these OKC Thunder to 7.
Y'all gonna be back. Yeah, y'all gonna be
Yeah,
back this
yeah,
year.
Yeah,
Y'all
y'all
gonna
will be back.
this
That's
year.
a fact.
we here.
Y'all will be back.
Yeah, nah,
That's
don't
a
worry.
big fact.
Luka's not signing that player option. He going to Denver. Don't worry.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all don't want to see that happen. Y'all don't want to see that happen. Y'all
I,
don't wanna
I
see
do.
that happen.
I do. I want Jokic to get more. I want Jokic to get
Yeah, I'm not
more.
gonna lie. We
Hey,
are
would y'all
taking-
take Giannis? Would you take Giannis?
No.
No.
He
Fuck,
don't
oh,
fit
fuck.
with
Oh, but that paint. Oh, brother. That
Yeah,
paint.
oh my
brother.
gosh, that paint would be crazy,
brother.
but-
Ugh, paint, bro.
Hey, I could just imagine a dribble handoff between Jokic and Giannis.
That'd
Not
be
even dribble hand out,
nasty,
just
bro.
take it, bro. Do you think?
Yeah,
I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead,
lie.
bro.
He would
We
have to.
can
He would
run
just
Giannis
take it
at the
and
3.
go to the rim, bro. He wouldn't even dribble. He just take
I'm
it.
not
Bro,
gonna
Luka
lie. I'm
gonna
not
leave the
gonna lie.
Lakers, bro. He
I'm
gonna
not
leave
gonna
the
lie. We
Lakers.
can run Giannis at the 3 because what's it called? Aaron Gordon the shooter now. I don't know if y'all know, but Aaron Gordon the shooter
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Aaron
Aaron
Gordon the
Gordon,
shooter
yeah,
now.
No, y'all
Oh,
can run
Gordon,
Gordon at the
boy.
3, bro. Put
no,
Gordon
no,
at
no,
the
no,
3.
no,
Put Giannis at the 4.
No.
Don't
Put
worry,
Giannis at the 3. Put Giannis at the 3.
But don't worry, bro.
Who you want him in the paint? You want Giannis in the paint?
He'll drive. He'll be all right.
All right.
Bro, you know Jokic on the phone right now. Like, listen, bro. Like
Bro,
Denver, the city might
honestly,
be ass,
The
but we
league
got
might.
hoopers.
Hey,
We
the
got
league.
hoopers.
The league might intervene the way they did Kobe and Chris Paul.
They might.
They
No,
might
they can't.
intervene.
They can't. You know why they can't? Because Kobe and Chris Paul was a trade. This is free agency.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not gonna lie.
technically-
Hey, they might find a
Technically, when
way.
you're a free
Hey,
agent,
I'm not
you're
gonna
not
lie.
part of the league.
I'm not gonna lie. They might find a way because they don't want to see two
They-
white Europeans dominating this league.
They are not.
They don't want to
They
see it.
cannot veto that shit. Why the
They
fuck do
can't
y'all
veto
keep
free
saying that?
agency.
Yeah, they can't
do
veto
free
They cannot
agency.
veto free. Why the fuck do they?
Because
Do
free
y'all
agency means
realize
you're
that?
technically not in the league, so they have no
Look,
control over you.
Do y'all
this is all
realize
I'm
that the
gonna
Chris?
say.
Do y'all
This is all
realize
I'm
that the
gonna
Chris Paul trade? Do y'all realize that the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers? They could veto that because the NBA owned the Hornets at
Yeah,
that fucking
no, that's a
time because
fact.
they didn't have a
Look,
fucking owner.
As a New
So they
Orleans
can
fan,
veto.
facts.
So like any
This is-
owner can do, they can veto a trade they
Louis.
think is fucking stupid. The
Louis.
NBA thought that trade was stupid, so that's why they vetoed it.
Hey, but I
Lewis.
appreciate
The
y'all
fuck?
for
Lu-
having
Lu-
me.
Lewis.
I got a dip.
Hey, look,
Y'all
this is
take
all
it
I'm gonna say.
easy.
We not gonna sit here and act like the NBA ain't its own little government thing.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna find a way to keep something from happening.
What?
They're gonna
They
find
let
a way.
KD go to the Warriors,
He
G?
did.
Hey, you wanna know what it was? Because that's two reasons. One,
You think
they
they
got
wanted to
tired
stop
of
LeBron?
they got tired of Braun. They were like, bro, this man came back 3-1. No, we gotta stop that. KD, go to the Warriors.
I bet the NBA was pissed when Denver beat Miami. They said, "Fuck, dude, what the fuck."
Hey, but I appreciate
Now
y'all
we
for
gotta put
having
this
me,
small
bro.
market ass fucking team.
Thank you, Luis. AG, we got the dub. Anytime you
Thank
need
you
a partner,
thank you for coming. Please,
Oh.
I really appreciate it.
anytime y'all need, y'all know, just holla at me. All right,
It
y'all
might be
take
the
it
end
easy,
of the
bro.
show.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we about to be out of here as well. Shout out to all the G Maniacs in the chat. If you're not following No Name Wrestling, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you. Go to TikTok, go to IG, even go to Twitter, which I need to start being more active on. But go to Twitter, right? Go follow us everywhere. If you are listening to this audio podcast right now, please like it. If you need to know where to find the audio podcast, go to Spotify. It is on there. It has the big polar bear in the corner. No Name Wrestling. It's always up every Monday. times may vary, but it is always up on Mondays. Y'all go follow that. Like and subscribe. Like the channel. Go follow the. I know we're watching from multiple platforms, but go to No Name Wrestling YouTube page and follow that right now. Subscribe. Turn on notifications because y'all know we go live every Sunday. We will be back next week. Don't know what the topic is. Is there a big show happening?
Probably
no, right?
The fuck not.
Yeah, because I don't know. WWE didn't pack them.
I think we gotta talk. I think Money in the Bank is really soon. Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, Money. Oh, is Money in the Bank next week?
I think it's next week. I think so.
Yeah, it's because June 7th. June 7th. So we
y'all
will be back.
Shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we will be back next week talking Money in the Bank, talking Worlds Collide. You know, hey.
Oh,
yeah.
is Gable gonna do it?
Bro, he better. I hope he
Yeah,
do.
we went to Sunday.
Actually, he won't do it. El Grande
El Grande
Americano.
He gonna call up his cousin like, I'm gonna need you, bro.
Yeah. He will. All right,
y'all
y'all